is that? Why? No, here's what we're going to do. We are going to share this out. That's what we're going to do. Come on. We are going to share this shit out. There's one person watching. Who is this one person? There's two people watching. Tweet. And we're going to promote this. So when you come in, here's what I need y'all to do. I need you to hit that like button. Hit the like button when you come in, and we're going to start promoting. We're going to start promoting, people. All right, here we go. I'm going to promote. And then we'll get started in just a little bit. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you very much, Danielle. Keep on sharing. Keep on sharing. We got 5 people watching. 5 people watching. Hit the like button when you come in. We got a lot to talk about. A shit ton of rumors to talk about. Shit ton of news to talk about. What's going on? Alan Holland. Ruben Day. How you doing? Smash them likes. Smash them likes. We got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about concerning the draft. This week in professional wrestling. A lot of material to go over. A lot of news to go over. A lot of news indeed. I am just sharing it out, making sure everyone is aware. Because, of course, here we go. What's going on? We live, Cameron. We live. How you doing, my brother? How you doing? We live. We live indeed. Oh, yeah, it's going to be awesome. You already know. You already know. You already know. We're just sharing it out to a few more people, and then we're going to get started in just a little bit. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Danielle. You're awesome. You're fantastic. You are absolutely, positively fantastic. I greatly appreciate it. You already know. You already know. Keep those likes coming. Keep those likes coming. You already know who it is. We got 7 people watching so far. It's a good start. I think we can get to 10. I think we can. I think we can get to 10. See, 7 is good. It's good, but I think we can get to 10. I think we can get to 10. We can do, oh yeah, you know. Do you beat face? What? You mean my beast face? I mean, any type of face screenshot of this. This is the money maker right here. So you know that you're gonna get a good shot. My best face? Alright, I got a bet. I got one. Screenshot that. I'm gonna be talking about that, bro. Trust me, I'm gonna be talking about that. You're very welcome. I'm going to be talking about that. Do not worry. I'm just sharing it out. Who else can I share it to? I got to share it to Win. Share it to J Small. Yeah. Here we go. Share it to. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A few more people, and then we'll get started. few more people, then we will get started. Where's Earl Cole? What's going on? King Seth, how you doing? How you doing, my brother? Hit that thumbs up when you come in. Be sure to hit that thumbs up when you come into the live, because it's the greatest live on Saturday. What's going on, Cross Devil? How you doing, brother? We're going to get started in just a little bit. I'm just sharing it out. Yeah, over here. Sharing out to him. Okay. What's going on here? Canadian. Yeah. Okay. Just a few more people. All right. You ready to get this party started? Who's ready to get this party started? All right. Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle, Wait for it. To mankind. This is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, October 10th, 2020. We are in, month 7th of this pandemic already. I'm pretty sure everyone's over it. I am pretty sure that everyone just wants to go back to normal. I mean, we wanted to go back to normal from the moment this fucking pandemic started. What am I talking about? But regardless of that, we are heading into the holiday season. Thank you very much. And ironically enough, I did actually watch 205 Live this week. We'll talk about that. It was actually their 200th episode. Very lackluster 200th episode, but we'll talk about that when we get to the weekly show review portion. So, first things first, obviously. Thank you very much for tuning into the video. Thank you very much for joining me here on Saturday. I greatly appreciate all of you taking time out of your Saturday to come and join me here on YouTube and hang. Of course, we have a lot to talk about, a lot of wrestling news, rumors, and reports to go over, which we will go over. College has been killing me still. College has still been killing me, so I've been trying to keep up to date with that to the best of my abilities. I've been trying to manage my time correctly. I've been trying to keep up to date on all my assignments. I recently took 2 midterms this week. I actually got to get started on a project where I believe I need to research an upcoming business, and I need to talk about that. So college is definitely going to keep me busy. Next week, I have a busy work schedule as well. They have me on the front table at my supermarket where I'm going to be advertising the sales. Of course, they put me on that because, of course, you need to put this face in front of the door. That way, when people see this glorious face right here, see me promote, I could be a car salesman if I wanted to. I could sell anyone on anything. You're damn right. But I got that going on. My intestinal condition, it's been a little shaky. I've had a little bit of a relapse, as you know. It hasn't really hampered my life, but I'm going to do my best to continue to provide you guys with the best wrestling analytics out there, because DJ Storms, of course, is the man. DJ Storms, of course, is number one. There ain't nobody better. I am absolutely, positively untouchable. No one can touch me. No one can measure up to me. Trust me on that. Regardless of all that, we got a lot to talk about here. And first things first, before we get into anything, of course, follow me on the Twitter sticks at HistoryMakerDJS. You'll find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. Follow me on Instagram and Periscope at TheDJStorms, of course. Follow me on Periscope at TheDJStorms, and I'm planning on possibly doing a little bit more streams over on Periscope, kind of when my college semester ends, to really give you guys an insight, a little window into my life outside of the whole DJ Storms character. It should be a nice way for us to relax and just hang as people rather than, go over whatever is going on in the world of wrestling. I'm going to go over the chat after every single section here. I'll go over the chat. I'll check the chat before we get into the news, rumors, and reports. I'm on Facebook as well for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, I will place all the links in the description after the stream is over. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what I also need you to do. If you guys haven't already done so, I don't know why you wouldn't have already done so, but I need you guys to hit the thumbs up. Why haven't you guys hit the thumbs up if you've been here for a while? We got 6 thumbs up. That is not enough. We need to get to 10. We need to get to 15. We need to continue to gain those thumbs up. So I need you guys to hit those thumbs up. It is a crime if you did not hit those thumbs up already. So please hit the thumbs up when you come in. And when you hit the thumbs up, you got to keep the chat booming. You got to keep the chat alive because it sparks up the conversation. And when you spark up the conversation, you got to make sure you're subscribed. You got to make sure you're subscribed because that way I can grow. That way I can expand. That way I can reach many more people beyond the beyond. So you got to hit the subscribe button. When you hit that subscribe button, you got to hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. It's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Give me 1 second. Everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. Let's just be real here, people. Everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. Everybody, you know. Give me a minute. My allergies killing me as always. So, enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements. We're going to get straight into the news, rumors, and reports that we got going on here. And we got a lot. Oh my God. I've had wrestlers on my channel before, bro. I have like an entire section of me interviewing professional wrestlers. So come on. I know. I'm way ahead of the game. Trust me on that. But anyway, we'll get straight into the news, rumors, and reports. So we're going to start off with a report from ITRWrestling.com. And they reported that WWE had been planning to do a Drew McIntyre versus Tyson Fury match for the WWE title in the UK prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. The site stated, and I quote, "Sources say WWE was keen to capitalize on McIntyre becoming the first ever British world champion in the company and the hunger of the UK fan base for a big-time pay-per-view. Both McIntyre and Fury have continued to tease a match, so it isn't necessarily a dead concept." Man, if you were going to tell me that COVID-19 would have prevented a Tyson Fury Drew McIntyre match, I would have said that this is a fucking blessing in disguise. COVID-19's been a blessing in disguise in that case. Tyson Fury, after that fucking abomination of a fucking match that we got at Crown Jewel of 2019 with Braun Strowman. It's typical WWE one-on-one. Typical fucking WWE one-on-one right there. If that was going to happen, I guarantee you right now, Drew McIntyre's WWE title reign would have been ruined before it even got started. To be quite honest, it pretty much already has been ruined, if we're going to be quite honest right now. But Tyson Fury, you still have Tyson Fury in your back pocket. And apparently it's still not a dead concept. If that's the case, I hope they don't get the vaccine until after WrestleMania. If that's the case, then Drew McIntyre losing the WWE Championship to Randy Orton, maybe that doesn't sound so bad. Tyson Fury and Drew McIntyre. I don't even need to go any more in depth on that, any more than I haven't already. We're gonna move on from that because I really don't want to spend too much time on that. I don't give a shit. Nobody gives a shit. It would just be so counterproductive, and it would be typical WWE to just do that to pop a rating. I don't give a shit. We're moving on from that. We're moving on to a report from Mike Johnson of PW Insider, and he said WWE was planning on splitting up Andrade and Angel Garza regardless of what happened at Clash of Champions. This probably had to do with the upcoming draft, and they wanted them both on separate brands. Now, Garza was drafted to Raw, which we will go over. Andrade, more likely than not, will be drafted to SmackDown. I don't know what the fuck their mindset is with tag teams when the tag team division has been lacking for God knows how long. The tag team division has pretty much been non-existent all fucking year. Jimmy Uso's out with an injury. Viking Raiders are out with injury. You split up Angel Garza and Andrade. Splitting up all these fucking teams. So, you split up all these fucking teams, what are you going to have for the tag team division? Unless you're going to combine the tag team divisions like a lot of people are predicting. On top of that, you saw what happened with Andrade this past Monday. Or last Monday, rather. He got fucking squashed. Squashed by Keith Lee. That's what WWE thinks of Andrade. Fucking ridiculous. Garza and Andrade should have won the Raw Tag Team Championships regardless. They should have won the fucking Raw Tag Team Championships. Garza pretty much got injured for nothing. I mean, I'm happy that he'll be back soon. I'm glad that he was part of the draft. I'm happy he'll be back soon, but Garza pretty much got injured for nothing. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. You should have given these guys the tag team titles at SummerSlam. 20 days now. Over 220? Over 220 fucking days. What have they done with it? Nothing. You need to start putting some more focus into the entire program that you're putting on and not just certain aspects here and there. Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Speaking of fucking stupid, Otis is still Mr. Money in the Bank. WrestleVotes actually provided an update on Otis and the Money in the Bank briefcase. They tweeted out, I believe it was on Tuesday, they tweeted this out, and I quote, "There have been multiple pitched ideas to remove the Money in the Bank briefcase from Otis and make the storyline a main focus again, some of which are really decent ideas. However," and this is a big however, "Otis's biggest fan is Vince. So right now, no go." End quote. I don't fucking understand why you gave the briefcase to Otis. I really don't understand why you gave the briefcase to Otis. I don't understand what Vince McMahon's obsession is with Otis as a singles guy. Matter of fact, Otis is going to go nowhere as a singles guy. I don't care how you look at it. Otis is either going to fail at his cash-in, or he's going to cash it in, and he's going to lose it in his first title defense. Vince McMahon may be a fan of him, but do you really expect Vince McMahon to have any long-term plans for Otis? Neither Tucker nor Otis will ever be a good singles guy. What the fuck are you talking about? Neither Tucker nor Otis will be a good singles guy. They are better together. They're like Enzo and Cass. But you fucking split them up and you tried to make them singles guys and they both failed. Because WWE always has to go out and find the Shawn Michaels and the Marty Jannetty of the tag team. Otis should have never won the briefcase. It should have been Aleister Black. I'm actually surprised that Vince McMahon has stayed high on Otis for this long. But I have absolutely no fucking faith in them. I am just waiting for the day that Otis is pretty much forgotten about by Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon, I guarantee you, will get bored. Vince McMahon's going to get bored, and Vince McMahon will go back to playing with the toys that he always loves to play with. Take the fucking briefcase off Otis. Oh, Otis, I really don't understand where they're going with Otis, especially after what happened in the draft, which we'll talk about later on. I don't know where the fuck they're going with Otis. I really don't give a shit at this rate. I just hope that the briefcase comes off of him. Eric of the Viking Raiders. He recently came out and said that he got surgery. Now listen to this. So he tweeted out that he got a surgical screw removed from his arm. He had been putting off this surgery for a while. Now that he recently got it, the return timetable, excuse me, the return timetable right now is currently unknown. So we don't know what's going on as far as Eric goes, but now Eric is gone. Eric is gone. He's out. He got surgery, and him and Ivar are currently out as far as the foreseeable future goes. So the tag team division, once again, is suffering. Tag team division has been suffering all fucking year. Tag team division suffering again. Do I give a shit? I'm very, very, very disappointed in WWE with how they portrayed the Viking Raiders. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are. I don't even know why they called them up from NXT. You called them up from NXT in the Superstar Shakeup in 2019 while they were still the NXT Tag Team Champions. Then you had them relinquish the NXT Tag Team titles. The Viking Raiders should have been in NXT till the end of 2019. I don't understand why you even called them up when they were the NXT Tag Team Champions. It's fucking beyond me. It really is fucking beyond me how they're doing this shit. It's beyond me. It is probably, it's like they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I mean, scratch that. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They never knew what the fuck that they were doing. They just call some shit. They call people up with absolutely no plans and hope that things are going to remain better. Eric is out. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would actually be pleased. If Eric and Ivar go back down to NXT and we get the War Raiders back down to NXT after they come back, which I hope that's the case. I hope that whenever Eric and Ivar are cleared, I actually do hope that they go back down to NXT. They go back down to NXT. They follow the Finn Balor route. They follow the Ember Moon route. They follow the Tyler Breeze and Fandango route. They go back down to NXT, and now they're in the NXT Tag Team Division because the NXT Tag Team Division sorely is lacking right now. Tag team wrestling has not been a priority on NXT, and that has to do with Vince McMahon having his influence all over NXT. I hope to God we see the Viking Raiders back down in NXT. I got a report on Retribution. PW Insider reported that Mercedes Martinez, formerly known as Retaliation in Retribution, could be headed back down to NXT. Recent tweets from Mustafa Ali has excluded Mercedes Martinez from mention. As you notice, Mercedes Martinez was one of the individuals who revealed herself as a member of Retribution. She was wearing a Hannibal Lecter mask alongside Mia Yim. Mia Yim apparently is staying in Retribution. I actually, Mia Yim goes back down to NXT. Or debut on the main roster as Mia Yim. I don't even understand why Mia Yim has a case of why she should be going against the system. But Mercedes Martinez, thank fucking God. Thank fucking God she's out of Retribution. Because at this rate, Mercedes Martinez, she was doomed to fail. She was doomed to fail. You put Mercedes Martinez in a situation where there was no coming back from it. There's pretty much no coming back from this Retribution angle for anyone that's part of Retribution, even with Ali as the leader, or the supposed leader. There's no coming back. That's why I said that they should pretty much just end the angle. Don't even have them unmask. Don't even have them unmask. Have them go off. Have them go off and have them get arrested, have them get put in prison, and have them return as their own names. Exactly, King Seth. But I'm actually very happy that Mercedes Martinez is going back down to NXT. Good. Send her back down to NXT. Have her in the women's division. Have her put on some great matches in the women's division. I got no issue with this whatsoever. This has positive written all over it. I wish that they would just disband the Retribution group altogether. I had a feeling it was you. I had a feeling it was you, Stevie. Moving on to my final report. WrestleVotes tweeted out an update related to full capacity attendance for events held in stadiums. Now, as you know, COVID-19 has shut down pretty much everything. COVID-19 pretty much shut down the world all the way back in March, April, and May, before we actually got back into a sense of normalcy, wearing masks and social distancing, limited capacity with the outdoor dining. But recently we all know that the arena held events, stadium held events, baseball events, football, hockey, basketball, professional wrestling, all these arena and stadium held events have been completely shut down. They've been using cardboard cutouts, virtual fans, piping crowd noises, whatever it may be. But recently, the state of Florida stated that they're going to be allowing full capacity in stadium events. The tweet from WrestleVote stated, and I quote, "The state of Florida will begin allowing full capacity attendance for stadium events. Vince has been privately holding out hope for a full capacity WrestleMania. He gets his wish. Whether or not 65K fans show up is another question." End quote. Now, I really don't have a problem with this. I really don't have an issue with them holding the full capacity stadiums. I actually would go forth with this. However, obviously just take the proper precautions. Do temperature checks, testing, wearing masks, social distancing. You should be fine. Now, I don't know where the world climate is going to be when we get to that, but I would assume that we would be in a better position in a few months than we are now. And I actually do hope that we are in a better position. I actually do hope that we have some sort of vaccine. I hope the flu shot helps a little bit. It probably won't, but I'm holding out hope for that. I do hope that we see some sort of fans at the stadium. We'll probably get about maybe 30K. They're probably going to be social distance, put in groups. They're probably going to be wearing masks. Obviously, do the temperature checks, do the testing. If they could find a way to do quick testing, then I think that would be good news right there. That would be good news. You could do quick testing, quick COVID tests, get quick results back, and boom. Make sure that everyone is healthy. Make sure that everyone is safe. And there you go. So I do believe that this should be good news. This should be good news. If you want to do limited capacity, I guess you could. I'm not sure how bright of an idea doing full capacity in Florida is, because Florida is one of the worst states. As long as you follow the rules, follow the regulations, I'm pretty sure everything will be fine. But that's it for the news, rumors, and reports. I'm going to check the chat. Let's check the chat. Why is there only still 5 people watching? Why is there only still 5 people watching? Come on. Come on. Come on. There shouldn't be just 5 people watching. There should not be just 5 people watching. We should have at least 10 to 15 people watching right now. I don't know why there's only 5 people watching right now. Please share it out again, please. So, we're going to check the chat. Check the chat. Check the chat a little bit. No, Danielle, I'm not going to take my rants out on you. You don't want me in a ranting mode. I mean, it's fun. It's fun when you're not on the other end of it. Fiend attacking Otis? No. Absolutely fucking not. Fiend's going to Monday Night Raw. Mia Yim doesn't have a reason to be against the company. She was always in the title picture in NXT, and her BF is Lee. He's high in the company, pretty much. Pretty much. No. No, Cross, no. Come on. Fucking Adam Pearce, no. Fuck you talking about, dude. Come on. Fuck you talking about, dude. That's a terrible fucking idea. Come on. I don't know where you're coming up with these ideas, but I don't know. Yeah, I feel as though Bruce Pritchard got his hands on you with that comment. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about there. Anyway, we're moving on to the weekly show reviews. We're going to move on to the weekly show reviews. We got 7 weekly show reviews to go over. I watched 7 weekly shows this week. I took a shit ton of notes. Strap in. We're going over a lot of shit. We're going to go over a lot of shit here on the channel. So, Monday Night Raw. I don't even think I even need to go over anything that happened on Monday Night Raw. It was literally the same fucking shit. If you've been watching Monday Night Raw since January, you haven't missed a damn fucking thing. You have not missed a damn fucking thing. And if you aren't watching Raw as we speak, I really don't fucking blame you. Randy Orton kicked off the show. He was sitting in a chair in the back. He talked about Clash of Champions and how there is always a reaction for every single action. He talked about the agony that he put the 4 legends through last week, and he wishes he could have seen Drew's reaction, but the debt won't be paid until he is the WWE Champion again. He says, you want your legacy to survive? It'll live if you survive one more match against me inside hell in a cell. Drew then entered the room that Orton was in. We had a big brawl before officials came to separate Drew from Orton, and that was how Monday Night Raw started. Same old shit that we hear from Randy Orton, and same old shit that we usually get from Drew McIntyre, and that's pretty much it. Same old shit. Same old shit. Same old shit. And the only reason why they're continuing this shit is because they're legitimately out of ideas. They have nothing else on the table. They have no other people to build up for Drew McIntyre, and they're pretty much just biding their time before Edge comes back. How you doing, Robo Universe? Thank you very much. So we had that promo. Seen it how many fucking times, heard it how many fucking times. We then go into a 6-women tag team match between Zelina Vega, Natalya, and Lana taking on Mandy Rose, I almost said Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, and Asuka. Just by looking at this, Just by looking at this match alone, you could just tell how shitty the women's division really is. You fired Sarah Logan, Ty Conchi, and Deonna Purrazzo, but you kept Dana Brooke, Lana, and Natalya. If that does not tell you what WWE's mentality is when it comes to women's wrestling, I don't know what does. Lana took a punt knee strike right to the face. Right to the face. And Mandy Rose, Asuka, and Dana Brooke get the win. I'm assuming that they're going to build up Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke for a women's tag team title opportunity if the Riot Squad don't end up winning the championships. So then after this, Nia Jax, speaking of Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, they actually came out. Lana tried to help Natalya. Lana got picked up by Nia Jax, and for the third time, she gets put through a table. So in a matter of 4 weeks, Lana has taken 2 punt knee strikes to the head, tapped out to Shayna Baszler in a minute, got pinned by Mandy Rose twice, and gotten put through the announce table not once, not twice, but 3 times in a row by Nia Jax. But it has nothing to do with Miro going to All Elite Wrestling, right? Sit down, shut your fucking mouth, and only speak when I speak to you. I really don't give a shit about Lana. I don't think anyone gives a shit about Lana. I don't think anyone has a reason to give a shit about Lana, because Lana is a waste of roster space, but this is just fucking petty at this rate. It is fucking petty. It is fucking disgusting. And I actually feel bad for Lana. Lana has done all of that. Lana has taken all of that in a matter of 4 weeks. But it has nothing to do with Miro making his debut on All Elite Wrestling. Isn't that right? He's competing on the anniversary show. What are they going to have Lana do on Monday? Are they going to have her go off the stage through a table like Braun Strowman? So R-Truth, moving on. R-Truth was in the back. He was talking to Little Jimmy about a mock draft. I actually saw some of these names on the mock draft. He had Ninja number 1, Ninja number 2, Little Jimmy. Who else we had? We had Vince McMahon. We had the other Carmella. We had Brother Love. So there was a janitor behind him. He called him Randy Orton. He then ducked a swing of the mop. Not the line right here. The janitor swung the mop. He hit the ref. R-Truth then tripped over the mop bucket. And then he was covered by the janitor. And he lost the 24/7 title. And it was Drew Gulak. And Drew Gulak ran away with the 24/7 title. But that was not the last time that we would see Drew Gulak and R-Truth that night. I don't know who finds this funny. You are a fucking cancer to the wrestling community, and I have no respect for you whatsoever. I'm just pointing that out there. So then we had Seth Rollins and Murphy. Seth Rollins and Murphy come out. They were set for tag team action against Dominic Mysterio and Humberto Carrillo. How many times have we seen this? So before the match started, Rollins told Murphy to give him the mic. Murphy said he's got to get something off of his chest. He says he has done everything that Seth wanted, but the last couple of weeks, if you want me to be your disciple, I want you to apologize, not to me, but to Aaliyah. So Rollins then grabbed the microphone in a fit of anger, and he goes, "Might I remind you that I saved you?" No problem, Danielle. No problem. Might I remind you that I saved you? You are the disciple and I am your Messiah. So he started saying disciple Messiah, like a fucking dictator. He said he could have easily exposed all the DMs where Aaliyah reveals her true feelings about how Dominic is the chosen one. So double planches going into commercial. Carrillo then took advantage of Rollins and Murphy bickering. Rollins kept on saying that he doesn't need him. Carrillo took out Rollins and Murphy. Murphy then kneed Carrillo out of the air. A brutal fucking knee, and Murphy pins Carrillo. Of course, Humberto Carrillo. I think Humberto has only won about 2 matches this year on WWE television. Only 2. I'm not even fucking with you. I guarantee you, if you go back and look at the entire year of 2020, I think Humberto Carrillo has only won 2 fucking matches. Guarantee it. So Murphy then walked off in a fit of rage, and he says, oh, you don't need me, right? So the dissension of Rollins and Murphy, I would be more into it, but the fact that they're still embroiling the Mysterio family in this is just fucking ridiculous. How many more fucking times do we need to see the Mysterio family versus Rollins and Murphy? The main story should be Rollins and Murphy. So they were in the back before we had the KO show with Bray Wyatt, and Rollins then said you had 1 hour. 1 hour to find me and apologize to me. So that was the story that they were going with throughout the rest of the night. So we had the KO show with Bray Wyatt. So Bray Wyatt, he did not show face. He show-faced on the screen. He did not show face in person. KO says, people were right. When the Fiend touches you, you change. He says he still feels the anger, the agony, and the dread. Felt horrible. He couldn't move. He says the only thing he cares about is Wyatt coming out to talk. So Wyatt comes up on the screen in the Firefly Funhouse. He says, it's always nice to have a new friend. He then started singing a song about friends sticking together. Mercy the Buzzard then ate Rambling Rabbit. Typical shit from Bray Wyatt in the Firefly Funhouse. Owen said, just come down here. Wyatt said, this Friday you'll know exactly what you've gotten yourself into. So he waves goodbye. Owen says, okay, if you're not going to come to me, then I'll come to you. So as he's walking up the ramp, Aleister Black comes out of fucking nowhere and gives Owens a black mask. And that was it. Aleister Black. All that for Aleister Black to come out of nowhere and in 20 seconds hit Kevin Owens with a black mask. This segment was the definition of, hey, let's get Bray Wyatt on the show because we need something to counter-program all of these sports games going on. And apparently, we still think that Bray Wyatt's going to draw, but he didn't draw. Look at the rating, 1.6 million again. I'm surprised they didn't dip below 1.5 million. 1.6 million again. So you have Bray Wyatt and Kevin Owens in this segment simply to pop a rating. This was the definition of ratings desperation attempt. And that was that. So Drew McIntyre was then interviewed in the back. And he accepts Orton's challenge for Hell in a Cell. So we got that Hell in a Cell match coming up on October 25th. Keith Lee versus Braun Strowman. This match came about when Braun Strowman won in an exhibition match. Listen to this. Adam Pearce was talking to Braun Strowman and saying that we can't give you a legitimate match because you're not a Raw superstar, but we can give you an exhibition match against anyone who wants to face you. Keith Lee accepted. Now, this is what the announcer said. The announcer said that this is an exhibition match and will not count on either man's win-loss record. As if now you want to act like wins and losses actually mean something? Meanwhile, Randy Orton has lost not one, not two, but 3 pay-per-view matches in a row. And somehow he's getting another WWE Championship match. Somehow, the Street Profits beat Angel Garza and Andrade about 5 different times, but Angel Garza and Andrade, they got multiple tag team title opportunities. Now you want to act like wins and losses matter. Now you want to act like there's some imaginary wins and loss record in WWE. What's the difference between an exhibition match and a regular match? It's not like you focus on wins and losses anyway. Look at Drew McIntyre and his WWE Championship reign. Every single fucking challenger outside of Randy Orton at SummerSlam, every single challenger for Drew McIntyre has not been a legitimate challenger because they haven't gotten wins by him. Rollins was on a losing streak. Rollins lost to Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, but somehow he got a WWE Championship match at Money in the Bank. What did Bobby Lashley do? He beat R-Truth twice? Somehow beating R-Truth twice? How many fucking people have beaten R-Truth? R-Truth is what, a 42-time, 43-time, 44-time, 24/7, 7-Eleven, I-95 European television champion? How many fucking times has R-Truth lost the 24/7 title this year? But Bobby Lashley beat R-Truth twice, and he gets a WWE Championship match. Dolph Ziggler has been feuding with Otis all year, and he lost to Otis at WrestleMania, but somehow he got a WWE Championship title match. But wins and losses apparently are a thing now on WWE television. Both men were counted out in 1 minute. Keith Lee and Braun Strowman, both men counted out in 1 minute. Lee stood back up after Braun Strowman bulldozed him through the barricade. Lee then launched himself over the steps onto Braun, and then he sent Braun into the LED boards, and then Lee shoved Strowman off the stage through 2 tables. Typical big man Braun Strowman bullshit. Typical big man Braun Strowman bullshit. If you needed any more indication that WWE legitimately had no plans for Keith Lee, there you go. Clear-cut indication. I'm still asking why you called him up. Matter of fact, Keith Lee should not be on the main roster right now. Keith Lee and Adam Cole should have been the NXT Championship match for this past Sunday's TakeOver. Keith Lee should have been the NXT Champion from this past Sunday's TakeOver all the way to WrestleMania weekend. Then you could have done Karrion Kross versus Keith Lee for the NXT Championship, but Vince McMahon needed to push his agenda on NXT. He wanted Karrion Kross as the NXT Champion because Karrion Kross is big and he's muscular. He's got these big, meaty triceps. So Vince McMahon needed to have his hands all over that, and he needed to give Karrion Kross the NXT Championship. And then look what happened. Karrion Kross got injured. Bianca Belair, the EST of WWE, who's had about 6 live appearances on WWE television, and she's been on the main roster since April. 6 live appearances, and she's been on the main roster since April. Think about that. She was in the back with a few random women playing some game where you need to answer questions that you would ask in class. And she won. Who cares? Drew Gulak. We go back again. Drew Gulak was in the back. R-Truth popped out of a dumpster that Drew Gulak was trying to hide behind them. He said, that is the worst Randy Orton mask I've ever seen. So Drew Gulak then tripped over a garbage bin. Tozawa came out of the garbage bin, or as R-Truth calls him, the ghost Tozawa. All 3 men then got dumped into the dumpster, and I really don't even know what to make of this shit. Every time I looked at this shit, and I was having flashbacks to the fucking Wizard of Oz. You know, everyone's seen the Wizard of Oz, right? Everybody's seen the Wizard of Oz. You know the scene in the Wizard of Oz where the Lion, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Man, they're hiding behind the rocks at the gateway of the witch's castle, and they're watching the witch's guards march in order, oh Leo, and then all of a sudden the witch's guards, they come up from behind the rocks, and they drag the Lion, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Man behind the rocks, and all you see is like this fur and all these clothes flying everywhere. That's exactly what I saw. It's exactly what I got from this. Tozawa's the Lion. Gulak is the Tin Man. R-Truth is the Scarecrow. They were in the dumpster. You didn't see them. All you saw was fucking garbage bags flying everywhere. That's all I saw. I saw a recreation of that scene from The Wizard of Oz. Big brawl broke out in the dumpster, and Truth ended up pinning Gulak to win the title again. So how many times has R-Truth won that fucking title? Unreal. Drew Gulak 3 months ago was fighting AJ Styles for the Intercontinental title in a great fucking match. Now here he is fighting over the 24/7 championship. At this rate, I fucking hate Ryan Satin. Ryan Satin's a fucking loser. Man, I'm wishing that report from Ryan Satin that Gulak was leaving. Now I wish that The Hurt Business versus Apollo Crews and Ricochet. Wow. Like we haven't seen that one before. So MVP, he said Ali, Ricochet, and Apollo will never win this fight. He called T-Bar Teabag. When you see the black and gold, you better fold. So Ali, Crews, and Ricochet came out. Ali says he's making excuses. Ricochet teased joining the Hurt Business, but he said it's a pass. He didn't run then and he ain't running now. MVP said put emphasis on Ricochet's beatdown. Oh, just wait, Danielle. Hurt Business win. Hurt Lock and Apollo Crews taps out. Wow, we haven't seen that before. Had Aaliyah and Murphy meeting up. She asked Murphy if he was still considering apologizing to Rollins. He says he doesn't know. So Rollins comes out. He says the time has come. Your Messiah awaits. So Murphy came out. Rollins says this is going to be simple. Just apologize and we can move forward with the greater good. Rollins says, just apologize. You do not want to go down this road. I plucked you from obscurity. I made you the man you are. All you have to do is apologize, Murphy. He started screaming that over and over again. And he grabbed him by the beard. Rollins grabbed Murphy by the beard. Murphy had none of this. Murphy did a double leg takedown to Seth Rollins. And he started attacking Seth Rollins. He threw him over the announce table. We had a big brawl breaking out. Murphy then grabbed the kendo stick. And he started hitting Seth with the kendo stick. He says, apologize to Aaliyah. Rollins then said he was sorry. He says, you've done enough. And then we had Rollins then trying to gouge the eyes out of Murphy. He wailed away on Murphy with the kendo stick, and then he went for a steel chair, but Aaliyah Mysterio came out and stopped Rollins. So she was trying to protect Murphy. She was trying to cover Murphy. We then had Murphy just laying there. Murphy was just laying there. Aaliyah tried to help. Aaliyah tried to cover up Murphy after Murphy rebelled against Seth Rollins, and the Mysterio family came out, and they guided Aaliyah away from Murphy. Dominic was like, what are you thinking? Look at what he's done. After everything he's done, look at his eye. What were you thinking? And I'm thinking to myself here, Murphy just rebelled. Murphy just rebelled against the man who's been putting your family in all these scenarios where you're miserable. Murphy just rebelled against the man who has been just causing all of this harm, physically, mentally, and emotionally to your family. Murphy just attacked the catalyst of this all. Murphy rebelled. Murphy took a kendo stick and started beating the shit out of Seth Rollins. If I'm Ray and I'm Angie, he defended my daughter. Excuse me. If I'm Dominic, he just defended my sister. So if anything, Aaliyah was just proven right. If anything, Aaliyah was just proven to be right because she said he's not like Seth. He just rebelled. He rebelled against Seth Rollins. And if anything, Rollins fought right back. And I don't know about you, but I think that's a clear-cut indication that they're not together anymore. I think it's a clear-cut indication that Rollins and Murphy have split up. But you're having Dominic and Ray and Angie, you're having Guy Aaliyah away from Murphy as if that never even happened. Who writes this shit? Who the fuck writes this? I legitimately would love to be inside Bruce Pritchard's head when he's writing this. How does that make any fucking sense? How does that make any fucking sense that Murphy just rebelled against Seth Rollins? Murphy beat the shit out of Seth Rollins with a kendo stick, threw him into the barricade, threw him into the announce table, and then Rollins tried to gouge Murphy's eyes out. Rollins tried to do the same thing to Murphy as he did to Rey Mysterio. Aaliyah was just proven right. But you're having Dominic and Ray act like that didn't even fucking happen. Aaliyah was proven right. The attack itself was fine. But how the fuck am I supposed to get behind it when you're still including the Mysterio family, and on top of that, you have Dominic and Ray act like a bunch of fucking morons? Who writes this? Aaliyah was proven right. But Dominic's like, no. Oh, don't you remember what he did to our family? What are you thinking, Aaliyah? Murphy and Rollins are done. They're done. That was a clear-cut indication. But you want to act like that never even fucking happened. Fuck. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. Women's Tag Team Championship. This barely even went 10 minutes. Barely even went 10 minutes here. Baszler stomped on the arm of Ruby. Liv got the tag. She did Hurricane Rana Jax into the buckle. Jax was able to shut her down. Baszler missed the step-up knee. Riott came in with a tornado DDT, double stomp by Liv for a 2 count. Riott then got locked in the Karafuda clutch. Liv Morgan was isolated by Nia Jax, and Ruby Riott taps out. And Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax retain the Women's Tag Team Championship. Does this mean anything? Probably not. Probably not. Are we going to get another match? Probably. We're probably going to get another match. Why? Because WWE doesn't have anything else, unless they're gonna do Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. But even then, I don't see them doing that. They could do that at Hell in a Cell. But regardless, I just hope they get the titles off of Shayna and Nia. I hope they get Nia Jax off of television, and I hope they get Shayna Baszler to fight Asuka, and we get the title on Shayna Baszler. Then we can build up towards Shayna Baszler versus someone at WrestleMania. Or if you want to, you could build up to Shayna Baszler versus Asuka at WrestleMania next year. Because Bianca Belair, she's on SmackDown now. I didn't give a shit. Who cares? Riot Squad lose. We're probably going to get another match. MVP versus Mustafa Ali. Unintentional run right there. So, MVP, Lashley, and Benjamin, they surrounded Ali about what is it, 90 seconds into this match, right? All of a sudden, the lights went out. Lights went out. Retribution's logo came up on the screen. You know, the unpredictable group of vigilantes, but now we can predict when they come out. Indy Hartwell sucks. Just pointing it out there. Cross Devil, Indy Hartwell is a fucking embarrassment. So, the lights went out, Retribution came out, and MVP was like, come on, Ali, come on. So, Ali and the Hurt Business were standing side by side. Indy Hartwell sucks. It's a fucking fact. Enough about her. We'll talk about her when we get to NXT. She sucks. End of story. So, Ali was invited by MVP. He was invited by MVP to join the Hurt Business, to stand side by side and fight Retribution. Ali then slid out of the ring, and he was staring face to face with T-Bar and Mace. He turned around, and he was smiling. He was smiling, and he goes, "Get him." So he pointed his finger, and he's like, "Go get him." So Retribution then started dismantling the Hurt Business. Then Mustafa Ali came into the ring, and he was standing right in the middle of the ring, and Retribution surrounded him and stood face to face into the camera. And Ali did his signature palm pose. He did his signature palm pose and then closed his fists, and they went to commercial. As if he was summoning his powers, as if he had control over everything. And I'm thinking to myself, now, my initial thought was to shit on this. My initial thought is to shit on this. And I'm not even going to lie. I do want to give this a chance. I'm not going to lie. I do want to give this a chance. Did Ali look good? Yeah, he looked good. Is he in a prominent role on television? Yes, he is, and I'm happy about that. Was this part of the plan? No. No. A lot of people were tying this up to the SmackDown hacker storyline, where that was originally set to be Ali, and they kind of canceled that. So now it's all kind of coming together. And I understand the connection there. But this was not the plan. This was not the plan. This is WWE simply making this because of the fact that Retribution's presentation has been so fucking poor that they need something. They need something to spark up the conversation and actually generate some interest in this failure of a faction. Was it unpredictable? Yeah, it was unpredictable. It was actually very unpredictable. I was not expecting it. I think minimal people called Ali to be the leader of Retribution. Matter of fact, based on the presentation, a lot of people thought that the leader of Retribution was T-Bar, T-Bag, T-Bone, T-Balls, whatever you want. I'm going to call him T-Balls. T-Bar, I'm going to call him T-Balls. I'm calling Slapjack Applejack. Side note, Apple Jacks is actually a very underrated cereal. And then we got Mace. I'm going to call him Disgrace. So we got Applejack, T-Balls, and Disgrace. But we all thought the leader was T-Balls. But now it's Ali, apparently. Some people are saying that Ali isn't even the leader. I don't know. And I want to give this a chance, but with the way that Retribution has been presented, it's very, very hard for me to give it a chance. As a matter of fact, I don't have any faith. I really don't have any faith based on the track record. But this was actually a very, very, very well played out segment. This is actually a very, very, very well played out segment with Ali being revealed as the supposed leader of Retribution and then holding up his signature palm pose. So that should be a rather interesting talking point. What's going to happen? I don't know. But I don't have any faith in WWE to do the right thing because it's all in the follow-up. And when have they ever successfully followed up on a main roster storyline? So then we had the main event. Randy Orton, Robert Roode, and Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre and the Street Profits. So Montez Ford with a huge dive over the top rope, taking out Roode and Ziggler. We had a standing moonsault on Dolph for a 2. Orton took over control. He isolated Montez Ford. We had Angelo Dawkins making the tag. Pop-up DDT on Dawkins by Ziggler. Orton tagged in with a draping DDT. We had the cash out and the frog splash. Cash out and the frog splash. And Ziggler broke that up. Or Ziggler and Roode broke that up. We then had a tag by Drew, Claymore to Dolph, Claymore to Roode, and then Randy Orton came up from behind and RKO Drew, and Orton wins it. Congratulations! Drew McIntyre's WWE Championship reign is ruined. Ruined! Pinned by Randy Orton. Feels just as ordinary as everyone else. Terrible, terrible, terrible fucking show outside of Ali joining Retribution. I really don't need to go over anything else. We're moving on to AEW Dark. I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit about Monday Night Raw. I don't think anybody gives a shit about Monday Night Raw. We're going to check the chat before we move on to AEW Dark. I apologize. I apologize that the stream keeps on freezing. I apologize that the stream keeps on freezing. The connection is kind of shitty. Connection is a little shitty. But we're going on to AEW Dark right now. Very, very skippable edition of AEW Dark. Nothing too crazy. Too many fucking enhancement matches. And I do really hope that once this pandemic is over, they do really get back to really booking the AEW Dark shows correctly with the 4 to 5 match format, and they book it with a purpose, if you know what I mean. And they don't book it with just enhancement matches, you know what I mean. So we had Brandy Rhodes versus Kenzie Page. Didn't give a shit. I don't think anyone give a shit about Brandy Rhodes wrestling. Shot up Brandy, punt kick for the win. Anna Jay then came in to attack Brandy, but Red Velvet saved Brandy. That was pretty much that. We had Jurassic Express versus Rey Rosas and Eric Watts. We had the Extinction event for the win, and that was that. Jurassic Express continued their momentum. We had Anthony Bowens and Lee Jones. Man, Luther's I don't know what's going on with Luther, but oh my god, they really need to get him out of the fucking ring. Luther's fucking terrible. We had the Chaos Project winning. Obviously, that set up the tag team match that was come the following night on Dynamite for the 30 years of Jericho. We had Ryzen versus Will Hobbs. Hobbs with a beautiful double-A spine buster. I believe he's calling it the last will in Testament. Will Hobbs gets the win going into his FTW World Championship match against Brian Cage. We had John Silver versus QT Marshall. This is actually this was probably the best match of the night. This is probably the best match of the show. We had QT with a beautiful superplex to Silver. We had a tilt-a-whirl slam on Silver for a 2. Enziguri, snap German suplex, super kick, and a straight jacket backbreaker, all in one fluid motion. By John Silver. And John Silver is very underrated, I will say. Dustin Rhodes and Evil Uno then got into a brawl on the outside. We had a diamond cutter by QT to 5, diamond cutter by QT to 10, and then Silver with the torture rack spin out powerbomb. And John Silver gets the win over QT Marshall. Fairly decent match. Nothing too special, but hey, fairly decent match. QT Marshall's actually very good. No. Cross. I'm really not liking you in my chat right now. So, watch your fucking self. Watch your fucking self right there. Okay, I'll block you. Okay? QT's very good. QT's underrated. out of here. Fuck out of here, dude. Get out of my stream. We then had Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. versus Cesar Bononi and David Ali. So we had Garrison getting the hot tag. Garrison came in with a few rolling elbows and a wheelbarrow facebuster. We had a spinebuster clothesline for the win, and Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. apparently get the win right here. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm not sure what's going on with Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr., but I don't know. Did they sign? Did they sign with All Elite Wrestling? I don't know if they did or not. Because right now, they're just enhancement talents. We had Skylar Moore versus Big Swole. Big Swole ended up getting the win here with the Dirty Dancing, and Big Swole was heading into a match with Serena Deeb the following night on AEW Dynamite. Matt Sydal versus Michael Nakazawa. We had a modified STF for the win by Sydal. I'm glad Sydal is actually getting some time to shine. I think Sydal is going to be very, 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 very good when given the opportunity. I would love to see Sydal in the TNT Championship title picture. Not Cross. Cross, you gotta chill. You gotta take a step back, Cross. I'll block you. Cross, you're actually coming off rather stupid. I'm going to tell you right there. And I don't give a fuck. I will tell you how it is. And you're really coming off like an idiot. And my man Stevie's in agreement. You know what? Stevie, let me make you a moderator. Let me make you a moderator, Stevie. Where are you? No. Fuck, hang on. Yo, Stevie, you're a moderator. Moving on, we had Mbadu. Hey, there we go. Joseph Conlon, a big fight feel. I was waiting for you, bro. I was waiting for Joseph Conlon, a big fight feel. I was waiting for him to pop in. I'm glad he popped in. Welcome. We're just getting through AEW Dark. Then we're getting to AEW Dynamite. So we had Mbadu. I don't know who the fuck has a wrestling name Mbadu. But that is his name. Still can't get over it. So we had Mbadu versus Eddie Kingston. We had a Kimura Lock tap-out win by Eddie Kingston. And the match itself was pretty much a waste of time, but he took the mic and he says he doesn't care about the marks in attendance. He says, you're going to be in so much pain when I lock in that Kimura that you'll say I quit. Obviously, he's talking to Jon Moxley. He says that you were supposed to take us to the promised land. Now you have to pay. He says he never quit and he never tapped and he's going to mess you up, you little bitch. So I think that what we are in store for is we could be in store for Eddie Kingston possibly getting involved in the World Championship match next week. And based on the fact that we got the tournament finals, which is probably going to be Hangman and Kenny at Full Gear, I can definitely see. Yeah, you actually did miss a big rant, Joe. Sorry. I'll wait when we get to SmackDown. But as far as Eddie Kingston goes, I can see him getting involved in the world title match between Moxley and Archer. I originally thought that MJF was going to do it, but it looks like MJF is going into a feud with Chris Jericho, which I actually have no problem with. I actually think that's going to be great. I think it's going to be great. So MJF and Jericho, that's going to be fucking fantastic. Jericho and MJF and their promos, their back and forth have been fantastic. So I think that MJF is going to have a nice little rebound in this feud with Chris Jericho. As far as Eddie Kingston goes, I believe that Eddie Kingston, he could very well get involved on the anniversary show. Moxley's going to retain, and we're going to set up a triple threat match between Archer, Kingston, and Moxley at Full Gear, and that is going to be a situation where we have Jon Moxley beating Eddie Kingston, and it protects Lance Archer, because obviously we know that Kenny Omega is eventually in the wings to take that title off of Jon Moxley, and we're going to see Kenny Omega win that title from Jon Moxley, and he's going to go on a strong heel run going into 2021. You know that's coming. You know that's coming. Then we had Shawn Dean versus Angelico. Angelico with an inverted figure 4 for the tap-out win, obviously leading into the Hybrid 2's tag team match with FTR the following night. And then the Lucha Bros defeated Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss with a stomp pile driver combo. Sonny Kiss is a fucking embarrassment. We need to get Joey Janela away from Sonny Kiss, because Sonny Kiss is actually bringing Joey Janela down. He is. He really is. So that was AEW Dark. Very skippable. Very lackluster. I do hope that they actually get back to doing what they were doing with Dark prior to the pandemic, after we have the vaccine come out and everything's back to normal and we got crowds back and we're traveling. So, AEW Dynamite. Show over here. We had a very good show, minus the main event. Main event was fucking terrible. I did not care for the main event. It was actually a shitty way to celebrate 30 years of Jericho, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. We started off the show with Brian Cage and Will Hobbs for the FTW Championship. This match went about 9 minutes, and for 9 minutes, it was actually very, very good. It wasn't anything overbearing, but very, very, very good stuff here between Brian Cage and Will Hobbs. I would actually love to see Brian Cage and Will Hobbs on a pay-per-view. If they get 15 minutes, I would actually love to see that. So, we had Brian Cage trying to cut down Hobbs. We had a very nice standing moonsault for Brian Cage. Very, very athletic for a big guy. Great stuff right here from Brian Cage. He has a beautiful standing moonsault. So, Hobbs came back with a big jumping shoulder tackle and a snap power slam for a 2. We had a very nice pop-up spine buster. For a 2. Brian Cage with an inverted Meishinuku driver, which looked great. And then we had an F5. Cage with the F5, but Hobbs stayed alive. Both men then traded German suplexes back and forth, and then a double clothesline, and both men are down. We then had Will Hobbs ducking a clothesline live. Hobbs then went up to the top, missed the frog splash, and Brian Cage caught him with the drill claw. And Cage retains the FTW World Championship. Very good match for only 9 minutes. Very, very, very good stuff right here. Hobbs definitely showcased what he can do. Hobbs is very good. Brian Cage is great. And to be quite honest with you, I actually got to give AEW credit here. Because Brian Cage really wasn't factoring into any major championship plans. So they put him with Taz, and then they gave him the FTW Championship kind of as a way to keep him in prominence. And if they want to, they could really make the FTW Championship something. If they wanted to, they could make the FTW Championship into like a championship for the second show. When we get that second show on TNT with AEW and an extra hour of programming, they could make Brian Cage in the FTW Championship into something. I would definitely love to see Brian Cage defend the FTW Championship a little bit more often if we continue to get matches like this, because this was a very good match for 9 minutes. And if we get Brian Cage versus Luchasaurus, we get Brian Cage versus Lance Archer, that right there, that's really going to make the FTW Championship really mean something. So you got to give AEW credit there for giving Brian Cage something to do, even though he's not factoring into any major title plans right now, and they're giving him a championship, pairing him with Taz, they have him with Team Taz, and he's giving us great matches. So he's still ranked number 2. He's doing something good. He's doing something good. So if they keep doing what they're doing right there. So Starks came down to the ring. Taz took the microphone. He said that Hobbs is impressive, and he offered him 2 choices. He could join Team Taz, or Starks and Cage could beat the living hell out of him. What's going on? Jofo in the ring. Jofo in the ring. How are you, my friend? Please hit that thumbs up. Thank you for joining after I'm done with the AEW Dynamite review. So, Darby Allin then came out after we heard Taz say, we're going to beat the living hell out of you. Team Taz then exited the ring, and Taz says, one day you're going to learn to not stick your nose in Team Taz business, you little punk. So I believe we could be seeing Darby Allin and Will Hobbs versus Team Taz, possibly at the pay-per-view. And that would be a nice way of getting those 2, or those 4 men actually on the pay-per-view, and we could have Darby Allin and Will Hobbs get the win there. So then we had FTR versus the Hybrid 2. This was a 20-minute rush with greatness for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Now, I understand a lot of people were asking, oh my God, why are the Hybrid 2 getting a World Tag Team title match? I believe that this is kind of like FTR's version of the Open Challenge, the Brush with Greatness. And FTR are kind of issuing these Open Championship challenges in their arrogance. And that's where this is coming from. I mean, WWE does Open Challenges all the fucking time. And I didn't hear anyone complain about that. So, but regardless, this was actually a very, very good Tag Team Championship match, minus a botch here and there, which we'll go over. We had FTR trying to isolate Jack Evans. They worked on his injured left leg. We had Angelico coming in with a double modified Koji clutch on FTR. Very nicely done right here. We had a double stomp back suplex combo for 2. We then had an assisted 450 for 2. German suplex and a dragon suplex combo by FTR, but Angelico saved the match. Evans, he went up to the top. I believe he was going for a Phoenix Splash. He did not get the elevation that he wanted, and he completely botched his Phoenix Splash, and he landed on his feet instead of landing on dash forward, I believe it was. It looked very, very, very fucking awkward. It looked very fucking stupid. Minus that botch. It was a very, very, very good match. They picked it up later on. We had a gory bomb by Angelico on the apron. We had a tiger bomb on Evans, but he remained alive. Then we had a superplex splash combination for the win. Young Bucks were obviously watching. They were watching the match go down, and then they super kicked the camera guy. With a super kick next week. It's an ongoing fucking storyline. It's great shit. Looks like we're going to get the Bucks versus FTR at Full Gear, and if that's the case, then I can definitely see that being the final nail in the coffin that the Young Bucks are going to fully turn heel. I think that's going to be the final nail in the coffin. So, we had the Best Friends coming out. They photoshopped FTR's faces on a bunch of hot dogs, obviously calling them weenies. It's great. It's great, Joe. It's fucking great. I love it. So, Best Friends came out and they says that there's a match set for next week, and the Best Friends will face off against FTR for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Best Friends then attacked FTR, but they retreated, and the Best Friends held up the titles to end the segment. Best Friends and FTR, great decision right here. I thought they were going to save it for the pay-per-view, but apparently they're saving the Young Bucks for the pay-per-view. Apparently, we're gonna finally slip fully into the dark side. So that's actually a very, very nice storyline they got going on right there. Best friends in FTR next week on the anniversary show. Next week's anniversary show is fucking stacked. It's fucking stacked. We got a World Tag Team Championship match. And we then had Cody versus Brody Lee in a dog collar match for the TNT Championship. So, Brody used the chain to yank Cody off the top. We had a DDT by Brody on the chain. We then had Anna Jay coming out to take Silver away because Silver actually got busted open. Silver actually got busted open with the chain earlier on in the match. So, Cody then yanked the chain right between Brody Lee's balls. What's going on, Lillian V? How you doing? Please hit that thumbs up. So, Cody then yanked the chain right into Brody Lee's balls. Took advantage right there. We had a big suicide dive to Brody Lee. Brody Lee then yanked Cody by the chain over the barricade. Brody then set the timekeeper's table by ringside. Cody, this is a nice spot right here. Cody then pulled Brody by the chain off of the apron into the Cody cutter. That looked great right there. We then had a package pile driver off the apron through the table. That looked brutal. Brody Lee was busted open. Cody was busted open. Cody was then hit with Cody actually then hit the gourd buster on Brody Lee on the chain. We then had Cody. Arn Anderson came in. Reynolds got taken out with a spine buster because Reynolds came in. Then we had Anderson getting hit by Mr. Brody Lee with the chain. Cody then took advantage and hit a moonsault off the top. Hit a crossroads, but Brody Lee kicked out at 1. He kicked out at 1. Brody Lee's like, fuck this. He kicked out at 1. Blood all over his face. We then had a big superplex by Brody and a release dragon suplex. Cody with a final cut. But Brody Lee was not done. Brody Lee refused to stay down. Cody Rhodes then wrapped the chain in the mouth of Brody Lee. He wrapped the chain in his mouth, wrapped the chain around his eyes, wrapped the chain around his forehead, and delivered a crossroads with the chain wrapped around Brody Lee's forehead, and Cody Rhodes wins back the TNT Championship in a great fucking dog collar match. Excellent, 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 excellent fucking match. Cody was then interviewed after the match. He said that he's not going anywhere. He said that he wants to defend the TNT Championship against someone next week. And Orange Cassidy came out, and the match was made for next week. We got Cody and Cassidy already adding to an already stacked AEW anniversary show. Now, I'm looking at Twitter, and I'm seeing people complain about this shit. Now, listen to this. No. Listen to this. Listen to this. Realistically speaking, if you think about this logically, this pretty much had to be done. Listen to this. Brody Lee, yes, I understand. He only held the TNT Championship for like 46 days. Look, I understand that. But if you think about this logically, if Brody Lee kicked out of a dog collar crossroads with a chain in his mouth and a chain in his eyes and a chain wrapped around his head, cutting off the blood circulation to his brain, if Brody Lee kicked out of that and won, then I'm telling you right now, they would have been able to build up absolutely nobody that would have been believable. Nobody would have been believable in beating Brody Lee if Brody Lee kicked out of that. And on top of that, if you think about this logically, they really didn't have anybody else. They didn't have anybody else lined up for Brody at the Full Gear pay-per-view that could have taken a loss and they would have been fine. Because if you think about this, if you think he beat Cody in 3 minutes to win the TNT Championship. Cody's a made man. No one's going to look at Cody and think he's better. Think about that. He beat Dustin Rhodes. He beat Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes is a made man. He's a made man. He's already had a full-time career. No one's going to look at Dustin Rhodes any differently if he lost. Orange Cassidy, he was on a 5-match winning streak, and he beat Chris Jericho twice. So, everyone loves Orange Cassidy. No one's going to look at Orange Cassidy and think he's buried. You already did Orange Cassidy, so you're not going to do Orange Cassidy again at the pay-per-view. They literally had nobody else that could have taken a loss to Brody Lee and would have been okay with it. And on top of that, if Brody Lee kicked out of a dog collar crossroads, then nobody beating him would have been believable. They already did Orange Cassidy. You're not going to have Orange Cassidy get another TNT Championship match if he just lost. And on top of that, Brody Lee's not doing the open challenge. Cody was doing the open challenge. Think about it. And on top of that, this is only Brody Lee's second loss in AEW. The first time he lost, he didn't tap. He wasn't pinned clean. He passed out at the hands of Jon Moxley. Here, he wasn't beaten clean. Cody didn't beat him. A dog collar beat him. He could come out and say that next week. This was done specifically because they needed a big match for Full Gear. As best as I see it, this just evens up the score. They're 1-1. And on top of that, this feud with Brody Lee and Cody is going to end up boosting the TNT Championship to new heights, more so than it was already. Cody was doing a great job, but now you got this feud with Brody and Cody. You're putting on matches like this? If you put on a match like this at Full Gear, then they're going to end up boosting the credibility and the prestige of the TNT Championship tenfold. Brody Lee did not lose clean. He lost because of a dog collar. And on top of that, Brody Lee's going to get his rematch at Full Gear because they literally have nobody else. Brody and Cody, Part 3. Cody won 1, Brody won 1. Now listen, I don't advocate for short title reigns. Matter of fact, I fucking hate short title reigns. I fucking hate short title reigns. I'm not going to tell you that this was the best route to go, but it was kind of... Now, I understand that flip-flopping the championship, hot potatoing the championship, it sucks. I understand that. I don't advocate for that. But the New Day and the Usos, they traded the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships about, like 20 different fucking times in 2017? Where were you complaining about that? Brody Lee is going to win the TNT Championship back at Full Gear. The reason why they did this is because they had nobody else. If Brody Lee won after kicking out of the dog collar crossroads, then nobody beating him would have been believable. Darby Allin realistically could have been the next TNT champion, but if Brody Lee was facing Darby Allin after he kicked out of a dog collar fucking crossroads, Darby Allin beating him wouldn't have been believable. Orange Cassidy is not defeating Cody. They're going forward with Cody and Brody, Part 3, at Full Gear, and Brody Lee is going to win the TNT Championship back for Darby Allin. They're 1-1. Cody's beaten Brody once because of a dog collar crossroads. He was not pinned clean. Think, people. Brody Lee has been in the top 5 for how many months now? He got a World Championship match against Moxley. He passed out. He didn't get pinned. He didn't tap out. Same thing here with Cody. He didn't tap out. He didn't pass out. He was beaten by a dog collar crossroads. So at the end of the day, Brody Lee still looks like an absolute fucking savage, and this entire program with Cody is going to end up making the TNT Championship that much better in the end. Brody's going to win the TNT Championship back. Or we could possibly see Cody win, and Cody could drop the TNT Championship to MJF after MJF beats Chris Jericho. Maybe we see Cody and MJF Part 2. Maybe MJF wins the TNT Championship. But I don't think they're going to do that because I think they have bigger plans for MJF. I think MJF, he's going to be world champion by the end of 2021 based on the looks of things. So Brody Lee winning the TNT Championship back at Full Gear seems like the best route and the best bet that we could all think about at this rate. But this is a great fucking match. We got a TNT Championship match next week. Brody Lee is going to win the TNT Championship back at Full Gear. Stop complaining, people. Let the story play out. The score is 1-1. Brody Lee is not buried. He did not lose any credibility. It took a dog collar crossroads to beat him. Cody never beat him clean. He didn't beat him with a regular crossroads. He beat him with a dog collar crossroads. Think. After this, we had 3 more men getting announced for the the tournament. We have Wardlow, Adam Page were announced for the AEW World Championship #1 Contenders Tournament. I could see Hangman and Kenny being the final two at Full Gear. We had Big Swole versus Serena Deeb. Phillies match right here for the women. We had Deeb with a hanging neck breaker off the rope. Swole came in with a headbutt for 2. Serena then countered the slingshot cutter with a back suplex. Serena then was caught with a headbutt and dirty dancing. And Big Swole beats Serena Deeb. What's going on? Big boy Johnny. Please hit that thumbs up and share the stream out if you can. So, here's what I see. Now that Big Swole has been on a winning streak, now she gets a World Championship match against Hikaru Shida. And it was confirmed we have Hikaru Shida and Big Swole at the anniversary show next week. I am very, 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 very interested in seeing this match, and I actually can't wait to see what Big Swole and Hikaru Shida do together. Hikaru Shida is going to bring Big Swole to her best match in AEW to date. I'm actually very, 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 very much looking forward to this. Very, very happy we're getting this match. And I believe that we're going to get Nyla Rose and Hikaru Shida in a match at Full Gear. And we're going to see Britt Baker get built up to face off against Shida probably at the beginning of 2021. That is my guess. But Big Swole getting a women's championship opportunity next week at the anniversary show. The anniversary show is fucking stacked with 4 championship title matches. We got the world title, tag team titles, women's title, and the TNT championship. We also got Kip Sabian and the best man, Miro. It's Miro Day, every day. That's taking place next week as well. And then in the main event, we had Luther and Serpentico versus Chris Jericho and JK. Terrible, terrible, terrible sloppy match. Absolute shit show. Luther is a fucking embarrassment. Serpentico is actually decent. Serpentico is actually very underrated. I've seen Serpentico and what he can do. He actually put on a damn good match with Scorpio Sky back on AEW Dark. So he can work. Serpentico can work. But Luther's fucking terrible. We had Serpentico getting tossed over the top rope onto the pile. We had Luther with a somersault plancha onto the pile. Big diving, what was it? We had a diving leg drop, I believe, for a 2. Really wasn't taking too much notes here. Meteor spinebuster combo, but Hager broke it up. Luther then tried to use Floyd the Bat against Jericho, but he kicked out. We had the Judas effect, and Jericho and Hager get the win. I assume that they're building up Jericho and Hager for a tag team title match against FTR at some point, specifically because of the fact that they want to put over FTR with Jericho, because Jericho is pretty much in that position. But the match itself was very sloppy. He got ready to celebrate 30 years. MJF came out, and he says he wants to be a part of the celebration. So MJF reveals Clownico the Clown, and he was holding a gift, and it was a picture of himself. Picture of MJF. So he gave it to Jericho. So Jericho hit the clown with the picture, and then hit the Judas effect on the clown. He says that he hates clowns, and that was pretty much it. That was pretty much that. Shitty main event. No one cared about it. Absolutely fucking terrible. But the segment with Jericho and MJF, I'm actually very intrigued by. I'm actually very interested to see MJF and Chris Jericho at Full Gear. Full Gear is actually shaping up to be pretty good, if you think about it. We got MJF and Jericho. We got the Bucks and FTR. Cody and Brody Part 3. We got Hikaru Shida, Nyla Rose, perhaps. Hangman Page, Kenny Omega. We got Moxley, Archer, and Eddie Kingston, probably. So we got a pretty damn good Full Gear pay-per-view coming up. But outside of the main event, show was very good. Main event sucked, but we don't need to talk about that main event anymore. We're going to get into the NXT portion of the review. Big Boy Johnny, thank you for coming in the chat. I greatly appreciate you. Big Boy Johnny is a very, 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 very supportive individual. He's a very supportive individual. Please go subscribe to him. You are not going to regret subscribing to Mr. Big Boy Johnny. We need some more people here. We need some more people in the chat. Why do we only have 6 people? Why do we only have 6 people? That is absolutely inexcusable. We need more people in this chat, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure why I what was it? I did a Sheldon Cooper impersonation from fucking The Big Bang Theory. Not sure why I did that. Not sure why I did that, but we are going to get into the NXT portion of this review. So NXT this week. I'm not trying to say it was bad. It was very, very weird. Very weird. Very, very weird. Very, 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 very abstract, so to speak. I don't really know where they're going with NXT. We had a scary injury to Ridge Holland, actually, which we'll talk about. But we did actually get some decent wrestling. We did get a return. Ember Moon looks great. She's back. We're going to go over everything. We started off with Ciampa and Kushida. And I'm thinking to myself, this is such a counterproductive move because both men realistically need a win here. Kushida should be continuing his momentum. He should be being built up to face off against Santos Escobar for the Cruiserweight Championship. And Ciampa realistically should be the next challenger for Finn Balor and the NXT Championship. So I'm thinking to myself, it's really counterproductive, but NXT, they actually did a little bit of an easy out towards the end of the match. They had a DQ with Velveteen Dream. We'll go over that. We had Ciampa with a sliding drop kick as Kushida went for the handspring back elbow. That actually looked very well. Very well executed right there. He continued to wear down Kushida. Kushida came back with a couple of arm wrenchers, big German suplex, roundhouse kick, and a triangle choke. We then had Ciampa with a big boot and a Fisherman Buster 4-2. Kushida with the wind-up punch and some vicious stomps to the neck. Transitioned into the hoverboard lock. But the Velveteen Dream came in out of nowhere with an axe handle that caught Ciampa, causing a disqualification. Kushida attacked the Velveteen Dream, sent him running. The match itself was turning into something very good, but it did not end in a clean finish, and I'm glad it didn't end in a clean finish. Ciampa and Kushida did not have to take a legitimate loss. Really counterproductive, though, if you ask me. If we're talking about trying to continue their momentum, I don't mind Velveteen Dream and Kushida continuing. I think it's probably the best route for both men right now. Continue that feud. We're probably going to get a match at Halloween Havoc, which I don't mind. Kushida will probably win that match again, and Kushida will continue his momentum, possibly going on to TakeOver in December to face off against Santos Escobar. So I didn't really mind the feud continuing. Ciampa, I don't really know where he goes. I would say continue to build him up to face off against Finn Balor once Finn Balor is healthy and ready. Ember Moon. My girl Ember Moon. My favorite women's wrestler, Ember Moon. She came out to address the NXT universe. She said that it's been a while. She took her bike and she rode and found clarity. She said that no one is going to walk over her or tell her what to do because she's Ember Moon, damn it. She said Mama wants some gold. So Io Shirai then came out. But before she could even get a word out, Rhea Ripley came out. She said that she loves the new attitude in Ember. But Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez came out to attack Rhea Ripley. We had Moon getting involved, and William Regal made a tag team match for later on in the evening, which I had no problem with whatsoever. And the tag team match was actually very, very good. We had Everrise versus Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. This was fucking terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. Nobody fucking asked for a Team Hell No 2.0 storyline with Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. You really have nothing better to do with these men. Oh my God. Fuck out of here, Travis. Oh my God. I had a feeling you were going to show up at some point. It's fucking terrible. It's fucking terrible, dude. Killian Dane's great. I love Killian Dane, and I love what Killian Dane has to offer. Drake Maverick, you're not going to get me invested in Drake Maverick, not especially after WWE blatantly exploited his real-life fire in the Cruiserweight Championship tournament and still gave him a fucking contract anyway. You're not going to get me behind this shit. This Team Hell No bullshit. This is not what NXT is all about. I mean, come on, Travis, you complain. Travis, you complain that all AEW does is take shots at WWE. You don't get to talk here, bro. All right? Watch yourself. But Matt Martell, he called Dane a fat bozo. So Dane then tagged himself in. He took on both members of Everrise, and then he powerbombed. Maverick onto Parker for the win. Dane then knocked out Maverick again and then carried him away. The tag team and the presentation of the tag team is fucking terrible. I understand you need tag teams. Trust me, I get it. I understand you need tag teams, but nobody fucking asked for a Team Hell No ripoff. I don't need to see this shit. This is not NXT. I'm a rude guy, dude. I'm a rude guy. You know me, dude. Come on. Dude, do you expect anything less from me? Do you? Come on. You know me. DJ motherfucking Storms, I'm a prick. I'm a prick, dude. You know me. Thank you, Johnny. See, Danielle knows I'm not always rude. But when I'm in a rant mode, exactly, I'm Mr. Controversy for a fucking reason. I actually said the dog collar match was fantastic. I said it was great. You actually missed my AEW review. I said the dog collar match was fantastic. And Brody Lee looked like a savage. We're getting another match with Cody and Brody Lee, part 3. Brody Lee's winning the TNT Championship back. So after the Drake Maverick, Killian Dane shit, you had the Garganos walking their dog, and they were sent a free TV by Indy Hartwell, an old Hungarian woman. Now that's... I'll give you that one, bro. I'll give you that one. So, the Garganos were sent a free television by Indy Hartwell. Now, I don't know what's going on with Indy Hartwell. To be quite honest, I don't care. I don't care about Indy Hartwell. Damn right, Danielle. Damn right. Y'all should show some support to Danielle. So, Indy Hartwell's fucking terrible. I really don't care. But the one saving grace, I will say, I don't give a shit about Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell is a complete waste of time. She is very, very green. I don't see potential in her whatsoever. But the one saving grace that I think we can all just take a big sigh of relief is the fact that the Garganos are staying in NXT. And I am happy about that. So, big sigh of relief right there. We then had Austin Theory versus Leon Ruff. We had the ATL in about 2 minutes for the win by Theory. So he took the mic and he said that Cole caught him ice cold. But he says that he's the future of NXT and there ain't a damn thing anyone can do about it. And then all of a sudden, Dexter Lumis comes out crawling on his knees and his knuckles. Dexter Lumis comes out. And Dexter Lumis did not say a fucking word. He didn't say a word. And Theory was like, well, you want to do this? All right, let's go. So we get an impromptu match. And Lumis and Theory, they actually put on a fairly decent match right here. Not bad whatsoever. We had Theory trying to cut down Lumis. He had a nice standing moonsault. Theory is being punished. He really is. It was because of these speaking out allegations. It's probably the best route for him. Probably the best route for him right now. He's 22 years old. He's 22 years old. He's in NXT. He's going to stay in NXT for a while. So we're not going to rush that. We're not rushing it. So let him get the punishment out of the way. And sooner rather than later, he's going to be in a prominent role on NXT. Maybe North American champion. We'll see. But Loomis was cut down by Theory. Nice standing moonsault by Theory for a 2. Loomis with a very nice spine buster. I like Loomis's spine buster. Great stuff right there. Loomis with a roll through monkey flip. How did it make him look like a coward? Austin Theory just destroyed him. Austin Theory destroyed Leon Ruff in 2 minutes. And on top of that, Loomis didn't even say a word. Austin Theory was like, let's go. You could have easily made Theory walk off. And on top of that, Theory didn't tap out. He passed out. So Theory ended up passing out to the silence. And Loomis ended up winning Theory. I don't think, no. Priest ain't losing to Theory. Kind of was. He kind of was, dude. He kind of was. It was 2 minutes. I mean, how much damage can you really take in 2 fucking minutes? But Dexter Loomis, I'm sorry, man. He's the next champion. Loomis is the next North American champion. Keep it real, Cross. Keep it real. But I'm telling you, Loomis right now, look, I've been an advocate for Bronson Reed. I'm a big advocate for Bronson Reed. I'm a big advocate for the thick boy. I love Austin. Dexter Loomis is going to be the next North American champion. The guy has it. The guy has fucking it. But then afterwards, we had Cameron Grimes coming out of nowhere with a fucking cave-in, and he leans in on Dexter Loomis's ear and he says, "When I ask you a question, you answer me, freak." So it looks like they're having going to a feud, which I don't mind. I actually don't even mind. I actually think it's probably the best route for him right now. And it will more likely than not result in Dexter Loomis winning. Loomis is not going to dethrone Balor, dude. It's actually going to be Gargano. It's going to be Gargano at the WrestleMania TakeOver. All right, you know what? Who wants me to do my Cameron Grimes impersonation? Who wants me to do my Cameron Grimes impersonation? I will do it. I'll do it. Tell me, who wants me to do the Cameron Grimes impersonation? Before we continue with the NXT review. I'll do it. You want me to do it? All right, I'm going to do it. I'll do it. Why are you talking about Austin Theory when you should be talking about Cameron Grimes? Because I'm going straight to the moon. How about it? Good? Anyway, enough of that. Danny Burch versus Ridge Holland. I'm DJ Storms. I'm going fucking straight to the moon. Danny Burch and Ridge Holland. Cameron Grimes is great. I'm an advocate for Cameron Grimes. He's very underrated. He can wrestle, dude. His matches with Gargano, Lee, Dijakovic, Priest, Matt Riddle, it really does prove it. Cameron Grimes is a great fucking wrestler. But Danny Burch and Ridge Holland, they had a match. Ridge Holland won with Northern Grit. And then afterwards, we had... Oh, they didn't break up. They didn't break up Burch and Oni. They're still together. They didn't break them up. They're still together. So we had Burch getting paintbrushed with Ridge Holland's foot. And Ridge Holland and Burch then got into a brawl after the match. Oni Lorcan then came out to save Danny Burch from Ridge Holland. Oni then hit a plancha over the top, and I believe it was Ridge Holland's left leg where it bent the wrong way. And the referee actually threw up the X sign, and they took him away on a gurney. Now, I'm not a big Ridge Holland fan. Very, very green. Very, very standard. But, oh yeah, he did. I believe I watched the video of that, if I'm not mistaken, bro. But it really does suck for Ridge Holland. It sucks for Ridge Holland. I'm not a Ridge Holland fan. Matter of fact, I even said on my NXT TakeOver 31 review that him attacking Adam Cole, it just felt out of place. But man, it really must fucking suck for Ridge Holland. I don't like him, but it looked like he was set for a big push. It looked like he was set for a big push in a match against Adam Cole, and it really does suck that he's not getting that. So I can't help but feel bad for him. I really can't help but feel bad for Ridge Holland. I hope it's nothing too serious. I hope it's nothing too serious. I hope he didn't tear anything. I hope it's not somewhere he's going to be out for like 6 to 8 months. So my thoughts and prayers go out to Ridge Holland on that one. We had Gargano and Ray. They put up their new television, and they were watching the Women's Battle Royal. There was a USB hard drive sent by Indy Hartwell that showed how much she was saving Candice LeRae in that Battle Royal. So I don't know what's developing here between Indy Hartwell and the Garganos. Quite frankly, I'm going to say it again, I don't give a shit. But I'm glad that the Garganos are staying in NXT. If anything, I see Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano leaving WrestleMania 37 weekend when we get that takeover, which I believe is going to be taking place on the 27th. We're going to get Gargano and LeRae winning the NXT and the NXT Women's Championships at the takeover on March 27th, I believe it is. I believe Gargano's going to beat Balor and LeRae's going to beat Io Shirai. And I would not mind that whatsoever. We then had Shotzi Blackheart versus Xia Li. And Shotzi Blackheart, she won. They sent on from the top rope. And then out of nowhere, Boa came out. He handed a contract to Xia Li, and they walked off together. So it looks like they're repackaging Boa, and they may be repackaging Xia Li. So I actually don't mind this. I don't mind this because Boa and Xia Li's not bad in the ring, but she has not been a prominent figure on NXT. Neither has Boa. Boa's fucking boring as shit. So I'm going to wait and see how this plays out. I'm going to give this a chance. We'll see how that goes. Huge Storm coming in over there. I'm already here. Nothing can compare to me when it comes to bringing in a Storm. Come on. Anyway. We're going to talk about the main event, and then we're going to get into NXT UK. I know this is going to be Travis's favorite part, actually, because I'm actually a big advocate for NXT UK myself. So, Boa could definitely be something if they use him right. I definitely see something brewing here. I don't know what, but Boa, with the new look, he looks good in a suit. Not gonna lie. Looks good in a suit. So then we had Rhea Ripley and Ember Moon versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. This was actually a very good tag team match. Raquel Gonzalez, I fucking hate Raquel Gonzalez. She's green as fuck, but she actually didn't look half bad in this match. I'm not gonna lie. Moon came in hot, very slick and smooth. Ember Moon didn't miss a fucking beat. And that's why Ember Moon is my favorite women's wrestler. Fucking love Ember Moon. She looked great. Beautiful suicide dive. Rhea Ripley with a cannonball off the apron, taking out Raquel Gonzalez. Ripley was then isolated by Gonzalez before Ripley made the hot tag to Ember Moon. Moon came in with a big jumping code breaker on Dakota Kai for a 2. Oh no, Ember Moon's going to get way better. She's back in NXT now. She's going to get way better. Trust me on that. So then we had a power slam punt kick combo on Moon for a 2. We had the chiropractor on Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley was able to stay alive. We then had a tag by Ember Moon to Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley ended up taking out Raquel Gonzalez, and Ember Moon with a beautiful Eclipse. Fucking love the Eclipse. Beautiful Eclipse. Ember Moon pins Dakota Kai. Ember Moon gets the win, and Ember Moon and Rhea Ripley stand tall in a very good women's tag team match to end the show. Now, where does Ember Moon go? I can see Ember Moon being built up possibly to take the title off of Candice LeRae after Candice LeRae eventually wins the title from Io Shirai. I could see the SummerSlam 2021 TakeOver. That's going to be headlined by a women's championship match between LeRae and Ember Moon. It's going to be a Finn Balor-like incident. Rhea Ripley, I could see Rhea Ripley being the next challenger for Io Shirai because Rhea Ripley is expendable. Rhea Ripley is expendable. Rhea Ripley can take a loss, and Rhea Ripley is pretty much in a position where now she's putting people over, which she really shouldn't be, but she's staying in NXT for a while, so Rhea Ripley realistically makes sense as the next challenger. I could see Rhea Ripley facing off against Io Shirai at the December 2020 TakeOver on the 6th, I believe it is scheduled for, if I'm not mistaken. But this was a very good women's tag team match. Decent episode of NXT. Felt very weird. The Killian Dane Drake Maverick shit's terrible. Ridge Holland getting injured was very, very scary, so I wish him the best. But Ember Moon, my girl Ember Moon. Can't wait to see what they have in store for her. And it looks like a feud with Dakota Kai would be a nice interim program. So we're going to, let me check the chat a little bit. Let me check the chat before I get into the NXT UK portion of the review. Dude, let me tell you something. Ember Moon got the biggest shaft. She got the biggest shaft out of any women's wrestler. Now, Sasha and Bayley, it's gonna be a great match. So let's wait and see how this plays out. If anything, Bayley needs to win at Hell in a Cell. Sasha needs to be taken out. And Sasha needs to come back in the Royal Rumble. No one else but Sasha Banks wins the Rumble. That is the best route that you could tell this fucking story. Ember Moon, realistically, yes, she should be the face of the women's division, but this is WWE we're talking about here. Sasha's not a heel anymore. She's a baby face now. Anyway. Well, no. Bianca. Speaking of Bianca, we're going to talk about Bianca. Well, now she's a baby face. Bayley's the biggest fucking heel in the women's division. Right now. So, by default, that makes Sasha a baby face. I mean, the roles are definitely going to be reversed. The roles have been reversed, but right now, Sasha Banks is the babyface. And we're going to see Sasha and Bayley inside Hell in a Cell. And that's going to be the main event. That should be the main event. Because that is the one match that has been built up over the course of the entire fucking year that deserves to be inside Hell in a Cell. Look, we could argue about this all day, man. Sasha's the babyface. Sasha needs to win the Royal Rumble. End the story. That's it. Bayley's winning at Hell in a Cell. But we'll talk about that when we get to the SmackDown portion of the review. We have NXT UK to talk about next. We had Xia Brookside and Dani Luna versus Amale or Amale. I don't know. So, Amale and Nina Samuels. So, we had this women's tag team match to kick off NXT UK. Dani Luna actually got some decent offense here and there. We ended up having Xia Brookside and Dani Luna win with the Brooksy Bomb after Nina Samuels walked off. I'm actually glad that Xia Brookside is getting a showcase on NXT UK. I'd actually love to see her in the Women's Championship title picture as an interim opponent. We then had Saxon Huxley taking on Jack Stars. I didn't give a shit about this match. Saxon Huxley, he really isn't anything impressive. He's pretty much just a Jesus knockoff. Huxley wins with a modified Canadian Slam, and that was that. We then had the Heritage Cup first round with Flash Morgan Webster and A-Kid. So it was a very technical first round. I don't think we are, to be quite honest with you. because the UK is kind of a shaky. UK is kind of a shaky situation right now. I think the UK is actually just starting to get back to normality. So I don't think we're going to get an NXT UK TakeOver right now. We were supposed to get TakeOver Dublin before this fucking pandemic hit, which I'm pissed about. I'm pissed about because we were going to get Finn Balor and Walter. We were probably going to get Piper Niven and Kaylee Ray. We're going to get Gallus and Imperium. So we were going to get a big takeover for TakeOver Dublin. So I was pissed about that. But I actually don't think we're going to get that takeover right now because the UK right now, it's kind of worse than us right now. But yeah, the Heritage Cup first round between A-Kid and Flash Morgan Webster. And let me tell you something. It wasn't a bad match, but I'm sorry. These British rounds, Mac, they really just don't fit the mold of modern day wrestling. Too much stop and start and stop and start. The match last week with Noam Dar and Alexander Wolf, that actually had a little bit more flair to it, mainly because of the fact that you had Pete Dunne there and it was fucking overbooked as shit. So it was a little bit more intriguing, but these British rounds matches, I'm sorry. It's just too much stop and start. Very abstract. It just doesn't fit the mold. It really just doesn't fit the mold. I'd rather just have... Flash Morgan Webster actually looked weak in this. He looked weak in this because he tapped out with like 10 seconds left to go and he lost. He had the advantage and he lost in about what, like 15 seconds. And he needed to hold on for about 10 more seconds in round 5 and he would have been cleared for round 6. So I don't know what they're planning on doing, but the British rounds matches, look, it wasn't a bad match between Morgan and A-Kid, but I just can't get behind these British rounds rules. I just can't. The rounds, and here's the thing. If you really want to make a Heritage Cup, I don't mind that, but have it just be single elimination tournament. Because the rounds, again, too much stop and start. There's too much to take in. Too many rules, if you know what I'm saying. Too many fucking rules. It's very overbooked, very complex. But we had a very technical first round. Webster got a swift roll-up in the second round for the first fall. Reverse Rana on A-Kid in the third round. We had a big knee to start off the fourth round, but A-Kid stayed alive. Big Spanish fly and a vicious super kick by A-Kid, and A-Kid tied up the score. We had a big suicide dive in the fifth round by Webster. A-Kid with a double Fujiwara armbar, and Webster taps with 15 seconds left to go in the fifth round. Webster looked weak as shit. It honestly reminded me of when Sasha Banks tapped out to Charlotte Flair back at Roadblock, end of the line, with like 2 seconds left to go in that women's Iron Man match. Sasha looked dumb. Same thing with Webster. He looked fucking stupid. The British rounds rules do not fit the mold for modern day wrestling. As far as the outcome goes, right outcome. Matter of fact, I would actually have A-Kid go all the way. I would have A-Kid win the damn thing. A-Kid's fucking fantastic. A-Kid is... I'm actually wondering why they haven't instituted a mid-card title for NXT UK. I'm wondering why we need a Heritage Cup when it's pretty much going to be like an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal trophy that's defended. I would much rather have an actual mid-card championship that's not defended in British rounds rules. And I would give it to A-Kid. As far as A-Kid goes, I would have A-Kid go all the way. I would have A-Kid win the whole damn tournament. Because A-Kid, he is very underrated, very, very, very underappreciated. I love what A-Kid brings to the table here. Morgan Webster, he was actually attacked afterwards. Morgan Webster was actually attacked afterwards, backstage. I don't know by who, but it was brought to light by Mark Andrews, his tag team partner. So I hope that they don't break up Webster and Andrews because they're such a fun fucking tag team to watch. They really are. We had Walter and Dragunov for the NXT UK title being confirmed in 3 weeks on the October 29th episode of NXT UK. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, I'd give the title to Dragunov. Dragunov's a fucking stud. 25 years old, 26 years old. got all the fucking potential in the world. I would give the title to Dragunov. Dragunov's fucking great. I would give the title to him. Next week, we got Dave Mastiff versus Joseph Conlon. Not Joseph Conlon. Joseph Conlon's in the fucking chat. I apologize. Yeah, Joseph Conlon's taking on... Joseph Conlon, if you're still in the chat, you're taking on Dave Mastiff next week in the UK Heritage Cup first round. Joseph Connors, Joseph Connors versus Dave Mastiff in the Heritage Cup first round. And then we got Wolf, as in Alexander Wolf and Walter taking on Ilya Dragunov and Pete Dunne. Then we had Kay Lee Ray's State of the Union address. She says the entire NXT universe thought she was going to lose her title 2 weeks ago, but she said her record-breaking title reign continues to get longer and longer. The entire locker room came out. We had Amale and Nina Samuels. They were getting into it. Piper then came out. She shoved past Nina Samuels and Amale. And then we had this big brawl, this battle royal, main side, Brookside, Isla Dawn, Danny Luna, and Eva Valkyrie. They attacked Kaylee Ray. They started fighting with each other. Kaylee Ray tried to leave, but Ginny came out to stop her. She attacked Kaylee Ray. Valkyrie did a big crossbody onto the pile, and Kaylee Ray escaped. This was fucking corny. Very stereotypical, very unnecessary. I did not understand the point of this. This did not get me excited for anything to come in the women's division in NXT UK. And I love the women's division in NXT UK, actually. I love the women's division in NXT UK. I'm a huge advocate for Kaylee Ray. Kaylee Ray right now is probably the best women's heel in all of WWE. I'm even including that over Bayley. Kaylee Ray is a great fucking heel. And it really does suck that her title reign was pretty much halted by two things. Triple H kind of put NXT UK on the back burner towards the end of 2019 because he needed to try and beat out All Elite Wrestling in the ratings, and we had this Wednesday Night War bullshit. And then on top of that, when he finally started putting some effort into Kaylee Ray, then this pandemic happened. But Kaylee Ray, I'm a huge advocate for Kaylee Ray. I'm actually very interested in seeing what Kaylee Ray has to offer. And if you're asking me who's going to take the title off of her, I'm going with Eva Valkyrie. Eva Valkyrie, I love Eva Valkyrie. Eva Valkyrie is very, very good, very slick, very fluid in the ring is Eva Valkyrie. And I can definitely see Eva Valkyrie versus Kaylee Ray for the NXT UK Women's Championship somewhere down the line. Kaylee Ray's doing some great work, but this entire segment was fucking stupid. Yeah, Joseph Conlon's winning the damn Heritage Cup. I should take a trip over to the UK. Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of Ginny too. Ginny can wrestle. I'm actually a very, 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 very big advocate for Ginny. I actually love her match against Toni Storm. Her and Toni Storm actually have very good chemistry. Not gonna lie right there. So, moving on from NXT UK, decent show. Nothing too crazy, but I can't get behind the British Rounds rules. The segment with Kaylee Ray and State of the Union address was fucking dumb. Next week actually looks a lot better. I'm actually interested to see that tag team match. I'm glad to see Walter back in action. Walter's fucking great. So then we're moving on to SmackDown. We're coming to the end of the weekly show reviews here. We're moving to SmackDown, then we're moving to 205 Live to end the show. Or end the stream, rather. SmackDown, night 1 of the WWE Draft. Listen. I'm not going to say this was a bad show. It wasn't overwhelmingly horrible. And listen, I'm hard on the WWE, and rightfully fucking so. The product sucks. The product as a whole sucks. The show in itself, the show overall was not terrible. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it was as bad as Monday Night Raw, where you had R-Truth, Tozawa, and Gulak reenacting the fucking Wizard of Oz scene, where they had the guards taking on the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion, and shit's flying everywhere behind the rocks. I'm not gonna say it's that bad. The show wasn't bad. We actually got some decent wrestling on the show. Got some pretty decent wrestling on the show. The Fiend was brought to his best match to date. He was brought to his best match to date ever since the strap match with Daniel Bryan at the Rumble. We actually had a very good Falls Count Anywhere match. We had a few picks here and there that were a little intriguing. But man, it's just so fucking predictable. It's so fucking predictable and boring. They did the same shit last year with this draft. It's the same shit over and over again. I don't mind Stephanie McMahon on television in a role where she's just coming out to announce the draft picks. I don't mind that. I'm not complaining about Stephanie McMahon on television in that role. She wasn't the main focal point of the entire show, so I can't complain there. But the first thing I want to bring to light, Stephanie McMahon came out and she announced round 1 of the draft. Raw selects Drew McIntyre. SmackDown selected the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Raw selected Asuka. SmackDown selected Rollins. And then Raw selected The Hurt Business. So, right out of the gate, I want to ask this question. If you have a brand exclusive championship, why are you being drafted? Should be drafted are the mid-card championships. Unless you want to draft the world championships and make the universal title red when it's on Raw and blue when it's on SmackDown. But they have not shown any signs of doing that. And you're not going to draft the world champions right now because Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns are both embroiled in a storyline. So if you have a brand exclusive championship, you're pretty much already confirmed for that brand. It's pretty much a waste of a fucking draft pick. It's fucking ridiculous. It was a waste of a fucking draft pick. Outside of Seth Rollins being traded to SmackDown, the entire first round was a complete waste of time. It changed nothing. Changed absolutely nothing. If you have a brand exclusive championship, if you're the Raw Women's Champion, you're going to stay on Raw. Yeah, because if you're the Raw Women's Champion, you're going to get drafted to SmackDown. Or if you're the Universal Champion and the fucking title's blue, you're going to get traded to Raw. It's a waste of a fucking draft pick. Complete waste of a fucking draft pick. I was like sitting there like, you're doing the same shit that you did last year. You're not even attempting to get creative with it. And then they want to hype this shit up as the landscape of WWE is not going to change. The landscape of WWE ain't going to change until Vince McMahon is gone. The landscape of WWE ain't going to change until Vince is gone. Look at the draft picks throughout the course of the last 24 hours. And don't even get me started on what happened later on in the night with the New Day and then Dominic and Rey getting traded to SmackDown, which I'm going to talk about. So that was round 1. Rollins got traded to SmackDown. We now have the Friday Night Messiah, which I actually don't mind. I actually don't mind Rollins on SmackDown whatsoever. We then had Big E and Sheamus in a Falls Count Anywhere match. This was actually a very good Falls Count Anywhere. This is probably the best match of the night. This was actually a very good Falls Count Anywhere match with Big E and Sheamus. We had Big E with a spear through the ropes right out of the gate. Sheamus then took over and tied Big E up in the ropes. He started wailing away with the kendo stick. Big E then took advantage and he duct taped Sheamus's legs together. He duct taped Sheamus's ankles together and started whipping him with a kendo stick going into commercial. Brawl then continued into the back. Big E threw some flour or Big E got some eggs and flour thrown on him by Sheamus. Sheamus then went for a laptop, but Big E swung for the fences with a fucking broomstick, broke the broomstick over Sheamus's back. You could see the welts on Sheamus's back. And Sheamus is as pale as a motherfucker, so you could definitely sense that. You could definitely sense that Sheamus, he was getting his ass handed to him right there by Big E. So Big E broke the broomstick over Sheamus's back, and they brawled into the parking lot. Sheamus then hit a white noise on the hood of the car. Big E still kicked out, and Sheamus then started smashing Big E with a car door, which looked fucking brutal. It legitimately looked like he was trying to kill him. He went to smash Big E's arm. He fought out of it. Sheamus ended up broke kicking the hood of the trunk. Big E then with a powerbomb on the hood of another car. Big E with a big ending off the hood of the car, through a table, and Big E defeats Sheamus. Right outcome. Very good match. Where was this Big E? This is the draft of the SmackDown, and Kofi was getting drafted to Raw later on in the night. This is the Big E that we need to see. We need to see more of this Big E, less of the hip gyrating, less of the lip licking, less of the skip clapping. This is the Big E that we need to see. He's got energy, he's got charisma, but he's focused, serious, and determined. If we see more of this Big E, then I'll be able to get behind him as a singles guy. Just saying. So, then we had Big E being interviewed after the match, and surprise, surprise, the New Day returned. Kofi and Xavier Woods returned. And at this rate, I'm saying, there it is. There it is. Exactly what I said. WWE never wanted to get behind Big E as a singles competitor, and now we're going to have the New Day win the tag team titles again. And just as I said that, 10 minutes with the New Day, Kofi and Woods taking on Cesaro and Shinsuke. Man, that tweet aged very, very well. So Jey Uso, he came out to address Hell in a Cell, and he was interrupted by Heyman. Heyman said, "Stop embarrassing yourself, stop embarrassing your family. The champ applauds you for ambition, but here's what happens when you step into the ring with Roman Reigns." And they showcased the beatdown that Jey Uso was on the receiving end of at Clash of Champions. And then Roman, he was shown sitting at a table with the Universal title behind him, nice Rolex watch, black shirt, and he's like, "Tried to help you. All you had to do was acknowledge me as your tribal chief. For the first time ever, now there will be an I Quit match inside Hell in a Cell." And Roman says, "After you say I quit, there will be consequences." I Quit Hell in a Cell match, that's something I can definitely get behind. That is definitely something I can get behind. And I have full confidence that Paul Heyman, hey, you go do that, man. You go do that, man. Take care of yourself. Stay safe as always. Okay? Make sure you better get a fucking A. No B's here in the DJ Storms posse. Only A's. Remember that. Anyway, I'm actually very, very, very intrigued to see what Paul Heyman is conjuring up as far as this I Quit Hell in a Cell match goes, and I'm actually very interested to see how menacing they make Roman Reigns look inside Hell in a Cell against Jey Uso. This is actually very, very, very intriguing. I have no problem with this whatsoever. It's actually a very interesting concept. An I Quit match inside Hell in a Cell, if you think about it. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing this more often in the future. Let's see what they can do to top what they did at Clash of Champions. So then we had round 2 of the WWE draft. We had round 2. We had AJ Styles getting drafted to Monday Night Raw. We then had Sasha Banks getting drafted to SmackDown. She stays on SmackDown. Raw selected Naomi. SmackDown selects Bianca Belair. And Raw selected the Women's Tag Team Champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. AJ Styles going to Raw was a foregone conclusion. You trade Seth Rollins to SmackDown, you trade AJ Styles to Raw. That makes sense. Sasha Banks staying on SmackDown. She's continuing the feud with Bayley. Naomi, expect him to get behind Naomi now? Of course not. Of course not. Now, SmackDown selected Bianca Belair. SmackDown selected Bianca Belair. Now, this I am actually very, very, very intrigued by. This was probably the biggest move of night one. Bianca Belair has had about 6 appearances on WWE television, and she's been with the main roster since April. So at this rate, having her on SmackDown, this is a huge opportunity for you to capitalize on something. Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, that is a classic waiting to happen. Matter of fact, that should be the SummerSlam 2021 match. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, 2021 SummerSlam for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. We then had Jeff Hardy and Matt Riddle versus The Miz and John Morrison. Very, very standard tag team match. Nothing crazy here. We had a lot of broetry in motion puns being thrown out there. We had Riddle with a plancha off of Jeff's back onto Miz and Morrison. Hardy was isolated. We had a Broton German suplex and a Bro Derek to The Miz for the win. And Jeff Hardy and Matt Riddle get the win. Before we get into what happened next, I actually do want to say that I don't mind this tag team. I actually believe that if they wanted to, they could actually use this tag team to their advantage, and they could actually make Hardy and Riddle. They could actually make Hardy and Riddle a very, very, very interesting tag team. Where were you? Where were you? Now you decide to join, Jess. And of course you do that emoji. You're like, yeah, I'm just here. I'm gonna show up over 2.5 hours later. Where were you? Come on. I'm kidding. Oh my God. It's alright. Danielle, listen. Don't worry about it. As long as you're making money. As long as you get that extra pay. They better be giving you some extra heroes pay. If not, call me. I'll come over there. I'll unleash fucking hell on them. Yeah, all we need is the 3 of us in here. That's right. But we're talking about SmackDown. So I would not mind if they do use Jeff Hardy and Matt Riddle as a interim tag team for the time being, because WWE needs tag teams. But after this, out of nowhere, we had Lars Sullivan coming out. New theme song, new facial hair. He delivered a freak accident to Riddle, and then he clobbered The Miz, and then he delivered a freak accident to The Miz. His return is probably going to make a lot of people salty, but I'm not going to lie right here. I see a lot of potential in Lars Sullivan. I was actually a fan of Lars Sullivan. The likes of EC3. Whoa. Now, look, if you got to leave, Danielle, listen. If you got to leave, please, go take care of your mother. Go take care of your mom. I don't want you to just put everything to the side for me. Your mother is the most important thing. Are you sure you don't have to leave? Family first. Are you sure? Okay. But as far as Lars Sullivan goes, the amount of work that he did in NXT was actually very, very good. He put on a very good match with Aleister Black, put on a nice match with EC3. He can work. Lars Sullivan can work. But right now, I'm happy that he's back, and I'm happy that he's getting a chance. He's going to be added to the draft pool on Monday. But if you actually think that they got plans for Lars Sullivan, you got another thing coming. They don't have plans for 98% of the roster. They don't. But Lars Sullivan is back. I'm actually happy that he's getting an opportunity. I'm happy that he's back. I'm happy that he's getting a second chance. I'm interested to see where he goes. Is he going to factor into anything major? I don't know. We'll see what happens, but that was pretty much that. We then had round 3 of the draft. Raw selected Ricochet. I fucking hate that move. I'm wondering why Ricochet didn't get traded to SmackDown. Now Ricochet's still going to feud with the fucking Hurt Business. SmackDown selected Jey Uso. Raw selected Mandy Rose. SmackDown selected Dominic and Rey Mysterio. And then Raw selected Miz and Morrison. This round was fucking horrendous. This round was absolutely fucking horrendous. You are pretty much just moving storylines from one brand to another. So now you got the Mysterios on SmackDown, and apparently Murphy got traded to SmackDown. What would you like me to do? What would you like me to do? All right, you know what? Hang on. I know how to make you smile. I know. Well, I mean, I was about to start a rant, Jess, actually. I was about to start a rant because this third round is fucking terrible. This third round is fucking terrible. You're pretty much moving one storyline to another brand, and you're having the Mysterios continue the storyline with Seth Rollins. God knows how many fucking matches I need to see there. And then on top of that, Mandy Rose, she was already confirmed for Monday Night Raw because Adam fucking Pearce, he announced that Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke were the new members of the Raw Women's Division. Jey Uso was pretty much confirmed, so that was a waste of a draft pick right there. And Miz and Morrison were drafted together. If there was one team that you should have split up, you should have split up Miz and Morrison. You could have had Miz go Raw and Morrison stay on SmackDown, and they do their thing in the mid-card. I'm sick and tired of the fucking, hey, oh, Miz and Morrison. Sick and tired of it. Hey, ho, ho. Miz and Morrison need to split up. Go. Hey, ho, ho. I'll give you a hey, ho, ho. All I fucking need is the Miz and Morrison in fucking Christmas outfits come December, and they're doing their hey, ho, ho. Swear to God. I'll give Bruce Pritchard a hey, ho, ho. It actually don't sound right at all. That don't sound right at all. It actually sounds a little taboo. Miz and Morrison should have been split up. Ray and Dominic should have stayed on Monday Night Raw. Mandy Rose was pretty much already confirmed for Monday Night Raw, so that was a waste of a fucking pick. Ricochet should have gone to SmackDown. So then we had Sasha and Bayley. This was for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Sasha and Bayley went right after each other. Sasha took over control early. Bayley tried to run away. Sasha and Bayley went back and forth for about 2 more minutes. Bayley then hit Sasha with a chair. Sasha won via DQ. And then Sasha tried to use the chair against Bayley, but Bayley ended up getting away, and that was pretty much that. And afterwards, we had Sasha, later on in the show, she challenged Bayley to Hell in a Cell, and that match was actually confirmed earlier today. So that was that. I had a feeling it was going to happen. This was nothing more than a bait and switch. Nothing more than a bait and switch from WWE, where Sasha Banks and Bayley, they were put on SmackDown specifically for a ratings grab because WWE doesn't know how to actually build up interest in their television shows. So they're like, oh, let's put Sasha Banks and Bayley on the show and have them go for 2 minutes in a SmackDown Women's Championship match, only for it to end in disqualification and have them fight inside Hell in a Cell on October 25th. You get a golf clap for that. Oh, here we go. Cesaro and Nakamura versus Kofi and Woods. Was the match terrible? No, it wasn't terrible, but how many times have we fucking seen it? New Day win. What do you think was going to happen? You think that Cesaro and Nakamura were going to continue their title reign? No. Vince was like, oh, we need to get the booty-oos in, and we need to get these pancakes getting flung back in the crowd. We need to get that trombone action back on WWE television, because the New Day are going to win the titles again. How many fucking times have the New Day been tag team champions now? 15, 16, 17? At this rate, I'm surprised. I'd be surprised the New Day haven't been tag team champions more times than I've been alive. I'm 21 years old. I'm surprised if they're not 25 tag team champions by the time I'm 23. Oh, and don't even get me fucking started. This fucking time, Vince couldn't wait to get the titles back on the New Day. Woods and Kofi win the titles, and then we get round 4 of the draft, the final round of the draft. Big E was drafted to SmackDown, and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, who, might I remind you, just won the SmackDown Tag Team titles, were traded to Raw. If you are going to break up the New Day, and thank God that they did. I can't fucking stand the New Day anymore. So Big E's going to be on his own on SmackDown, good. But if you were going to move Kofi and Woods to Raw, which I have no problem with, why the fuck did you give them the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles? And on top of that, more likely than not, you're going to have Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins get drafted to SmackDown because WWE wants to keep couples together. Bianca got drafted to SmackDown, and Bianca is married to Montez Ford. What are you going to do then? It is absolutely fucking ridiculous. The fact that the New Day won the titles in itself is bad. That is absolutely fucking ridiculous, inexcusable, and as counterproductive, as you can be. I'm thinking about AEW and NXT counterprogramming AEW earlier on in the week. But this is as counterproductive as you can get. This is as counter-fucking-productive as you can get, giving the New Day the titles again. Now they get drafted to Raw when they're the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Yeah, blue championships on a red brand. And the Street Profits are probably going to get drafted to SmackDown. What does this mean? Unless you're going to merge the tag team divisions, unless you're going to combine the divisions like a lot of people are predicting, this is a waste of fucking time. Matter of fact, I don't even have any faith that they're going to do that. I don't even have any faith they're going to do that. Matter of fact, I will bet all the money in my savings account and my checking account. I will bet all the money I got that we're going to have Adam Pearce standing face-to-face with the Street Profits and the New Day. Street Profits got drafted to SmackDown. New Day got drafted to Raw. Adam Pearce is going to be like, okay, here's what we're going to do. Street Profits, you got drafted to SmackDown. You are now the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Kofi and Woods, you are now the Raw Tag Team Champions. Guarantee you that they're going to do that. If they don't do that, I'd be shocked. I hope they do merge the tag team divisions. If that's the case, if you're not merging the tag team divisions, this is a waste of fucking time. They haven't run out of this shit yet. Woods and Kofi got traded to Raw. Big E got traded to SmackDown. Dana Brooke got drafted to Raw. Dana Brooke was drafted before Kevin Owens, Andrade, Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, Mickie James, Bayley, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Angel Garza. You get where I'm coming from here? Randy Orton. Dana Brooke was drafted before Randy Orton, the Street Profits, Sami Zayn. Dana Brooke was drafted before all those individuals. If that does not tell you that WWE put little to no thought whatsoever into this draft, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Otis got a memo saying that Miz and Morrison are delaying the trial. And don't even get me started about what happened later on. What happened today with Otis. So then, in the main event, after enough of my ranting and raving about the shit show that was the draft, we had The Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus Kevin Owens. Now, this went about 11 minutes. This really wasn't anything groundbreaking. This really wasn't anything that you're going to go back and rewatch, but I will say this. They paired Bray Wyatt with the right wrestler. This was Bray Wyatt. This was The Fiend's best match ever since the strap match with Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble earlier this year. This was actually very, very good. I am not going to bullshit you. Good for 11 minutes. It wasn't groundbreaking, but Kevin Owens did a very good job at making The Fiend look good. So, well, actually, before that, get this, before that, we actually had Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns for the Universal title being announced for next week. Really now, but the rematch clause, isn't that antiquated? Isn't that non-existent, right? But you're having Braun Strowman, you're having the monster among men, you're having the guy that's in Raw Underground, the Strowman Express. You're having the Strowman Express taking on the Tribal Chief. I hope that ends in 30 seconds and Roman Reigns wins. And then we got the New Day versus Sheamus, Cesaro, and Nakamura, the farewell match for the New Day. Farewell match for the New Day on the season premiere of SmackDown on Fox. Season premiere. I'm looking for a season finale. So we got the match between Owens and The Fiend. The Fiend was no-selling Owens' moves. Owens was then planted with an inverted side slam. Owens with a clothesline, but The Fiend stood right back up. We had a Uranagi and a Sister Abigail onto the announce table, but the announce table did not break, so that was going into commercial. The Fiend was in control. Owens came back with 3 super kicks, 2 cannonballs, and then a DDT on the outside. Fiend then stood right back up. Owens with a super kick, and then a frog splash off the apron. Owens with a pop-up spinebuster on the table. It was then botched. The table didn't break, but he put Wyatt through the table with a second spinebuster. The table broke. Fiend got right back up. Owens then was caught in the mandible claw, and this was actually very good right here. Owens was caught in the mandible claw. Owens hit a stunner, but The Fiend kept the mandible claw grip in. He picked up Owens in a mandible claw slam, and Owens passed out. The ref counted 3, and The Fiend defeats Kevin Owens. It was actually a very good match. His best match, The Fiend's best match, ever since the strap match with Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. That's saying something. That just goes to show you how good Kevin Owens really is. So then afterwards, the lights went out, came back on, and Bliss and The Fiend were on stage together, and that's how the show ended. Not a terrible SmackDown. It wasn't overwhelmingly bad. We got some decent wrestling, but the draft in itself was boring. The draft in itself was predictable, and I don't have any faith that WWE is going to do right on Monday. Why should I? And then on 205 Live, I haven't watched 205 Live in months, actually. This is the first time I actually watched 205 Live, and it was their 200th episode, a very lackluster 200th episode, I will say. And Ari Daivari and Jake Atlas starting off the show on 205 Live. We had Atlas with a forearm, regained control, vicious forearm, actually. Big punt kick in the corner. Daivari came back with a neck breaker and a Persian Lion splash, but Atlas stayed alive. Atlas with a punt kick, and a suicide dive to Daivari. Out of nowhere, we then had Tony Nese sliding into the ring and hitting a big knee to Atlas. That caused the disqualification, and he left Atlas for Daivari to prey on. A hammerlock lariat later, and Arya Daivari stands tall, and that was that. In the main event, we had Ashante the Adonis. I actually don't mind his name. It's actually a good name. Shanti the Adonis. So we had him, Adonis, taking on the Brian Kendrick, formerly known as Tahuti Miles, is Shaggy the Adonis. Looks like they're going to be pushing him into a prominent role against Santos Escobar, which I don't mind. It's a good interim opponent for Escobar before we eventually get Kushida versus Escobar. We had Kendrick taking over control, tried to wear down Adonis. Adonis came back with a beautiful crossbody, swift DDT. Nice spine buster by Adonis for a 2. And then we had a punt kick to Kendrick for a 2. Kendrick then locked in Captain's Hook. Adonis fought out of it. He hit a super kick and then a second super kick, and Adonis defeats the Brian Kendrick. So it looks like Ashante the Adonis is going to be positioned to be the next challenger for one Santos Escobar. And that was pretty much that. Very lackluster episode of 205 Live. If there's one show that has definitely suffered from this pandemic, it's 205 Live, dude. I don't know what's going on, but 205 Live, oh my God, 205 Live. They need to do something. They need to do something with 205 Live. I hope that the crowds come back and they really start putting in some effort on 205 Live, because right now they are not doing anything. They aren't. We got some late draft picks that were revealed on Talking Smack before we get out of here. Buddy Murphy got drafted to SmackDown. Oh my God, you telling me? I fucking miss Austin Aries. 205 definitely needs him. He does. They do. But Buddy Murphy, he got drafted to SmackDown, so apparently they're continuing the story. They're continuing the storyline with Seth Rollins. So it looks like we are getting Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. That I don't mind. That I actually do want to see. I do want to see a match between Buddy Murphy and Rollins. That makes sense, but having Ray and Dominic there as well, not needed. I don't need fucking Aaliyah embroiled in the storyline with Rollins and Murphy. And I already did a rant on that, which, Jess, you'll be able to go back and watch after the stream's over. Mickie James is staying on Raw. Humberto Carrillo, you know, the guy that has about 2 wins this year. How many wins? He has about 2 wins and about 175 losses this year. That Humberto Carrillo, he's staying on Raw. Drew Gulak is going over to Raw. Because he's fighting with R-Truth over the 24/7 title with the Ghost Tozawa and Little Jimmy. Only R-Truth back at the beach screaming Sharknado. And Drew Gulak following suit. Winning the 24/7, 7-Eleven, 48/7, I-95 European Television Championship. The fucking glasses are falling off. Lucha House Party and Chad Gable are staying on SmackDown. And then here's the straw that broke the camel's back. Tucker is being traded to Raw. He's dead. His career is dead. You didn't even give Heavy Machinery an opportunity to showcase what they can fucking do as a tag team. Matter of fact, they should have been built up to take the titles off Cesaro and Nakamura. But of course, you need to have him push Otis as Mr. Money in the Bank. And apparently, Otis is still in the good graces of Vince. I guarantee you, Vince is going to get bored of Otis within a month. He's either going to cash in, Otis is going to cash in and he's going to lose, or Otis is going to cash in successfully and then lose it in his first title defense. Because you really think that anyone right now is taking that title off of Roman Reigns when he's in this current role with Paul Heyman? You really think that anyone's taking that fucking title off of Roman Reigns? Doi, you got another thing coming. You gotta push Otis and Tucker. It's just like Enzo and Cass. Just like Enzo and Cass. They are going to fail as singles competitors. Tucker is going to be buried on night 1. Tucker's going to be buried on night 1. I don't fucking understand the mentality of these people. I don't. It is absolutely fucking ridiculous. But those were your draft picks that were announced on Talking Smack. How many fucking pages of notes did I take this week? Well, I took 6 pages of notes for Monday Night Raw. You can believe it. 6 fucking pages. How many fucking pages of notes I did? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 fucking pages. Well, it's official. It's official. This is the longest lightning flash update I've ever done. And in about 8 minutes, we're going to get 3 hours. Any questions before I get out of here? Any questions? I'm open to some questions. Might as well. I mean, might as well. We have 4 people in here. Jess, I know, one of my day one A1s. Danielle's my girl, so. I mean, like, don't have to be wrestling related. It could be anything. I actually want to have I actually would like to have a conversation with everyone right here. A legit conversation, not about wrestling, about anything else. Because, quite frankly, I am I've had to hear this shit. But Jess, how's work been for you? Twitter's still blowing up. The fact that I don't have 3,000 subscribers now is fucking ridiculous. Oh my God, what's going on? Really? I can imagine COVID's really annoying right now. I'm telling you, it's a ridiculous scenario. Yeah, Danielle, is your mother okay? Everything all right? Well, speaking of which, Jess, I'm actually going to be working next weekend at my supermarket. I'm actually going to be at the front table. I'm going to be at the front table greeting customers, telling them about the sale. So if you want to come and visit me at work, I'm working Friday 2 to 6. I'm working Saturday from 12 to 5. So please. I mean, I'm still there. I've been working in produce, but now they want me on the front table greeting the customers. So please do. I haven't seen you in forever. Take a selfie for Casey. Be like, hey, I met the devil himself. Oh my God. If you do, oh my God. I swear to God. If you do. This, like, let me ask you a question. Are you really telling, does she really watch my stuff, or are you like just bullshitting me just to make me happy? I just want to make sure, because it's very hard for me to believe. Where's she? No. Danielle actually lives in New York. She lives like 4 hours away from me, so she don't come here. And she's got her own shit to worry about. So, oh my God. You know what you should do? Here's what you need to do. Next Saturday, if I do go live, I may not go live next Saturday. I may not go live next Saturday because I'm working. I will keep you guys updated on that. But here's what I want. If you can, the next time I go live, text Casey. I want to see her in the chat with you. I actually want to see her watch me live. But yeah, next Friday from 2 to 6 I'll be working, and then next Saturday from 12 to 5 I'll be working the front end table. I'll keep you updated. If you want, here's what you need to do. You need to create a Skype. And send me a message on there. That way we can keep in contact. But anyway, But yeah, I'm working 12 to 5 next Saturday. I may not go live. Speaking of which, I'm actually going to be doing some shit on Friday on October 23rd. October 23rd, I believe. No, I'm not, Danielle. Shut up. I'm going to be doing some shit on Friday, October 23rd. Be quiet. Both of you be quiet. I'm going to be doing some shit. I'm going to be doing some shit on Friday, October 23rd, because Friday, October 23rd at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, it is the rundown for Hell in a Cell with Earl Cole. My man Earl Cole's coming back. I actually need a guest. I need a guest for Full Gear Rundown. So if you know anyone, tell him to hit me up. Oh yeah, he's great. Earl Cole is fantastic. I love Earl Cole. He's going to be coming back. He's going to be doing the rundown for Hell in a Cell. I'll probably have him on the rundown for the Rumble next year as well. Crowbar. Oh my God. I actually got to talk to him. He's actually been busy with his own thing. The guy's a physical therapist. No joke. The guy's a legitimate physical therapist. So he's got a family of his own. So I actually have been in contact with him since WrestleMania. We don't know if WrestleMania is coming back. Just COVID just kind of ruined everything. Speaking of which, Jess, you have to create a Skype because I have the link to the WrestleMania show that I commentated at. I commentated at a WrestleMania show. I have the link to it. If you get a Skype, I will send you the link and you can watch it. And it was great because like Crowbar actually took the chair from where I was sitting on the commentary table, and he used it against his opponent. So it was actually pretty fun. It was great to be a part of that show. And if there's another show, I'm gonna be sure to let you and your husband know. I promise I will. But I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. I could get on my show. I'll see what happens. Yeah, he's been putting some funny shit up on Twitter. He was at the show in Rutherford at Beckton. When was that? Were you? And you didn't say hi? You didn't come and say hi to me? Were you? I was there too. He did that, Kate. I was there. You didn't come and say hi to me. I've been to every WrestleMania. I don't care if I was busy. Come say hi to me. I don't care. I was wearing my DJ Storm shirt too. That was before all this COVID nonsense. Exactly. Right in my front row. I had the front row and I was taking the video. You should have been there. I just come up to me next time. I'm not a hard guy to talk to. My God. Anyway, I think I'm gonna get out of here now. I'm actually gonna eat some food. I gotta eat some food. I gotta edit this. But here's what I want you guys to do. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming in. Hope to catch you soon. I'll stay in contact with every single one of you. Thank you very much. No Lightning Flash update next Saturday. I will be working. I'll see if I can get a video up next Saturday. Thoughts and prayers go out. To Danielle's mom. You have a great week. God bless. Rundown for Hell in a Cell coming on the 23rd of October. And never forget who the fucking man is, and that's DJ Storms. Oh, by the way. Oh, you know what? Wait. Don't leave. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Storms, and this has been the Lightning Flash Update, and I will catch you real soon.